cause you know we gon' talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get in here, we in here tonight. So get in here, we in here to vibe.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. I know it's earlier than I normally come on, about an hour earlier. So I don't see many people in here, but those that are here, please hit that thumbs up for your girl. We're gonna dive in a little bit more of this story that we was covering yesterday about the 6 officers out of Brandon, Mississippi. Okay. So let me give a shout out to those that I see already that has already spoken. Hey, Sharon, I see you, girl. Caramel Cutie, I see you. Yolanda, Brown Shorty from Brooklyn, Patrice, Tandra, another Sharon, Rashida, Sandra, Tawana, and Octavia. Not that many people are with us today. Hey, Tanisha, I see you, girl. I see you. Who was here yesterday for this story? I see you, Diane. I see you. I see you. Hey. Hey, those that are just coming in. Who was with us yesterday for the introduction of this story? Knows what's going on. Sharon said me. Okay. Who else was here? She said, I was listening yesterday. Okay. Wu Child said me. Tandra said me. Elizabeth. Hey, Elizabeth. She said, hey. She said, I was here yesterday listening too. Okay, Rashida. All right. So you guys already know a little bit about what's going on. So because we're gonna go through the court case, it's gonna take us a little longer today. So I decided to come on an hour earlier. Those that come in late can catch the tail end of it, or they can always go back and listen from the beginning. But I want to get into this story. I've been reading a little bit on my own, some more, should I say? And yeah, it's a horrible situation, and I kind of wish that hey, Marley, I see you, girl. I kind of wish that they would have taken this to trial so that these 6 officers, including the sheriff officer, let's not forget him, I was hoping that they took it to trial and they get all the time that they deserve. However, because they took a plea deal, because they did not want to take, they were busted basically, and they did not want to take the city or the county through all the, the money spent in trying to bring them to justice, and also the victims having to relive this. They didn't want to have to go through that, so they allowed them to accept a plea deal. But in retrospect, I think the plea deal actually was a slap in the face, to some of these guys that only got like 10 years, 15 years, and so forth and so on. I think that they should be in jail for the rest of their lives, and to hear them come out at the end and say things like, oh, no human. Hey, Lady Love. Hey, Lady V. No human should be treated this way. Duh. We know that. Why didn't they? As police officers, right? Supposed to serve and protect. But they didn't know that humans wasn't supposed to be treated like that when they were in the act, right? But the moment they got caught, now they want to confess and say, no human being deserved to be treated this way. What such a slap in the face. Such a disgrace, okay? But anyway, let me put up, just in case those are new that don't know what I'm talking about, let me put up these goons, as they call them, right? The goons, as they call themselves. This is the Goon Squad out of Brandon, Mississippi. Wucha said, I tried to get them to come on today, but they was out eating and interviewing with a few other people. Okay, Sharon, just let me know whatever new you find out, just let me know, okay? But these are the 6 officers out of Brandon, Mississippi that was charged with the torturing of 2 Black guys, okay? We're going to get into the lawsuit, right? We're going to get into the lawsuit and the story, the backstory of how it all happened, how it unfolded. And they are currently suing the Sheriff Department of Brandon, Mississippi, and also a few of these officers as well, okay? All the officers wasn't listed in the lawsuit. I'm not sure why, but I think that they're going after the main ones. And but they also going after Sheriff Bailey. And let me put up Sheriff Bailey right quick, because let's not leave him out, right? Let's not leave the sheriff out, the one that supervised these gentlemen, all but one. Let's not leave him out. Let's give him a picture up here. Yeah, that's Sheriff Bailey right there, you guys. He is the sheriff that helped cover this crap up when it first hit, right? he was behind them 100% until more evidence came out, and it was no more, oh, I can't hide, I can't hide y'all. I gotta go ahead and let it out. I gotta act like you guys are monsters now. I gotta act like I don't support y'all. I gotta act like I think that you guys are straight up criminals, when he was behind them and was willing to lie and cover up for them until more evidence came out, so where he couldn't cover it up no more. But you can't tell me that this sheriff didn't know what his guys were doing. It wasn't just any old rookie cops. Well, one of them was a rookie cop, but it wasn't even under his watch, right? But the other 5 cops that is under his supervision, and some of them were in leadership positions, like the chief of investigations. You can't tell me you didn't know what these guys were doing. You can't tell me you didn't know that they had formed some type of squad. And the thing about it is, let me put these 6 guys back up. The thing about it is, the Goon Squad is what they call themselves. These guys right here, this ain't even all of them. It's more of them. Hey, Sherelle, it's more of them call themselves the Goon Squads. And they're doing more investigation, trying to find out what involvement, if any. Hey, Kimberly, that the other Goon Squatters, what involvement did they have in it, right? But this ain't even the whole Goon Squad. These are just the ones that was available that night, okay? Child said, I have someone who was front and center and have all the details of the case. She is in the comments. Can you drop the link when you're ready to talk about it? All right, what's her name? Is it Sherelle? I'm going to drop the link. Hold on. Hey, Dimples. Okay, Sherelle. Hey, Sherelle, how are you? Welcome to our chat. Welcome to our channel. Hey, R. Hankins. If you want to grab that link that I just dropped, you can. And you can too, Sharon, if you like. The 2 individuals that's coming up to the panel are, they have more personal involvement in this story and can give us a little bit more details, okay? Can answer some questions and things like that. Hey, Cassandra. Hey, Jessica. Hey, anybody that's coming in. This is a follow-up from yesterday. Hey, Sharon, honey, how are you? Can you hear me, Sharon?
Hey, Amora.
Hey, honey, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. I'm waiting on her to actually come up.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, Miss Lady. Hey, Candy Girl. Hey, those that have come just joined the chat. We're doing a follow-up with the breakdown of this story of 6 officers out of Brandon, Mississippi, that beat, tortured, sexually assaulted, shot, left for dead 2 Black men out of Brandon, Mississippi. Sherelle, if you can hear me, you have to go out and come back in and make sure your audio and your camera is on. And before I bring you up on the panel, you can turn your camera off. If you can hear me. It says your device is not connected. You know, Sharon, as I was reading this story, and we're going to get into it, I was reading it, and the guy that ended up shooting him, Hunter Edwards, shot him in the mouth, had the nerve to say that he thought it was a damn dry bullet or no bullet in the chamber. Like, why are you sticking your weapon in somebody's mouth any damn way? Like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my mouth. You stick your weapon in somebody's mouth and you pull the trigger and be like, oops, I thought it wasn't no bullet in the chamber. So they was like, oh, he freaked out and he froze. And that's when he came up with the story or whatever. They concocted a story because he's like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Talking about some panic set in. He thought he was, it was an accident. Like, not an accident, but he did it to scare the guy. He thought it wasn't no bullet in the chamber. Who sticks a gun in someone's mouth and pull the trigger?
That's all lies, because ain't no police going to go and not have have a dry bullet in a gun. That's not possible. But whatever he say, let him go off.
Yeah, well, I hope he tell that to his mates, his cellmates,
Exactly.
all of them. Sherelle is saying it again. It's saying your device is not connected. When you go out, right before you come in, you have to make sure your audio is going to say turn on audio and camera. Just turn it on, but before you hit the stage, you have an opportunity to turn it off so nobody will be able to see you. This must be her first time on StreamYard.
She actually had been on there with me before, but I don't know if it's going to let her be on. Well, she did go on her phone before.
Okay, she'll get it.
But
Hey,
a little bit.
Letiri, Steffi. Hey, Steffi. And how is it right now that the sheriff is walking free? Like, I don't. He not only walking free, but got reelected last month. I'm so baffled over that. I just feel like going to Mississippi and making a lot of noise. Like I cannot understand that for the life of me. Like this man just got reelected last month. Make it make sense.
We definitely be out there making noise. We and once Sherelle get on, if she can get on, she'll be able to tell you a little bit more about Brian. He's we've been trying to get him out, so we do be in Brandon all the time trying to get him out of office, and we have already called for him to step down several times, but you know that is not going to happen. But hopefully we can get him out.
Yeah, he said he's not stepping down. He said there's people that want me to stay. Well, of course they are. Okay, now I see your camera on. Do you want to turn your camera off now, or are you good? Are you good? I can't hear you, but shake your head if you're good. If you're okay with your camera being on. Okay.
You can turn it off.
Okay, how you doing, baby? How you doing, Sherelle? Is it Sherelle?
Yes, it's Sherelle.
How you doing? Nice to meet you. My name's Amora.
Hi, how are you? You got to excuse me because I'm driving.
I see you. I see you. So, you know a lot about this story, I hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Amora, okay, a little bit about Sherelle. Sherelle is my freedom fighting sister. She's my sister now. She is a general of the Black Panther, the new Black Panther there in Jackson. So she has been front and center on a lot of these cases.
Okay, hold on. Let me just thank Candy Girl. Thank you, Candy Girl, for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. She says, thanks for bringing the real life content, Amora. We love and appreciate you. Thank you so much, Candy Girl. I appreciate you guys as well. Okay, so you said that she was the general of your say that one more time.
She's a general, a commander. She's a commander for the new Black Panther. So she actually always front and center of all of those cases, even including mine. That's actually where I met her at. So she does know, she's been with that family every step of the way.
That's good. That's good. And if I can get involved in any of this, let me know because I'm in Houston now. And hey, I'm here. I'm available. If y'all need me to go down to Mississippi and shake some stuff up with y'all, I'm here. I'm available. Okay. I don't have no 9 to 5.
That's good to know, Maura, because we definitely be needing people to actually, to come out and fight with us in those type of ways for these cases, because it's hard to get people who actually for a right to come out and actually, fight for the people that we be fighting for.
Well, they'll probably give me in a tree or something because I'm very boisterous and
we all are.
So y'all probably find me somewhere, in a tree or something, because I'm telling you, I talk, okay? I am a talker. Okay, so we're gonna break it down. We do understand that Jenkins and Parker is still fighting this lawsuit. It's pending right now. But as far as the charges, all of them are charged and sentenced to state and federal prison.
That's correct.
But they're gonna do all their time in federal, correct?
They're going to do all of their time in federal first, and then they will proceed to get their state. It's going to run concurrent. So they might have an additional maybe 6 years to do. The charges are concurrent.
Yes, concurrent. Okay. And yeah, so we're gonna go into the do you want to offer anything before we get into this lawsuit? Because we're gonna break down exactly what was done to these gentlemen. Like, because I think that, because they avoided trial and the court appearance, the community don't know everything that went on with these two guys. They just know that they was tortured, but they did some very grievous things to these two gentlemen, embarrassing and degrading things to these guys. This shouldn't even be happening in 2024.
Well, even though you're saying what they did to the guys, I also got to think about Michael Jenkins' mother, who didn't even know where her son was the first couple of days after he was shot. Um, and that we had to get a Bell's agent in order for her to even be able to see her son. I had to
Yep.
literally walk around the hospital with a Black Panther uniform on, walking floor by floor trying to find her son.
Oh my
Um, and had to speak to social workers, get a bail agent, get them released, which was from padded charges that they put on that they later dropped.
How long were they
But
in jail? How long were they locked up?
He never
who?
went to jail. They
He
were
never
just in
went to
hospital
jail. He was in his hospital bed under
chain.
their care. The same
Yes.
people that shot him were the same people that was over him.
So let me ask you something, Sherelle. How did the cop justify the shot in the mouth? Did he try to say that he shot himself in the mouth? Like, how did he justify that?
No, he actually was playing with the gun twice. The first time he pulled the trigger, it did not go off. The
Right.
second time he pulled the trigger, that's when it went off and severed his tongue.
But how did he justify it to the hospital is what I'm saying. How did the cop justify the shot in the mouth?
He never did. They
Nope.
never
So
did. They never did justify it.
but so they didn't ask questions then and say, like, okay,
Nope.
because
Nope.
that's not a part
They
of
ride for their
right?
own.
So the hospital didn't even care how the black guy that's chained up, that's locked up to the bed, handcuffed to the bed. They didn't even want to know how he got shot in the mouth.
They didn't want to know anything because the sheriff department only gave them so much information because they know
Yes.
they had to get him care because he was bleeding out. But the mom had to go through the sheriff department through her just to even try to make life changing decisions with him. Like if he
Yes.
needed a blood transfusion, they had to go through the sheriff department. The and call his mother. The mother finally give the response. Then they had to call back to the hospital. Within that time, he could have easily died. That's a lot of dead time.
So they
Yes.
left the
Exactly.
care of Michael Jenkins in the hands of the sheriff department.
Yes.
Basically, yes. Because he was under arrest in the hospital bed
With fake charges.
with fake charges.
That just makes me even so wow. So how long, I mean, we can't read it in the report, but how long were I know he was in the hospital for 2 weeks, correct?
Yes.
Wow. This is crazy. Somebody said how old were they? Let me pull that up right quick because they got their age.
I think Michael and them both in their 40s. I think they early 40s, ain't it, Sherelle, if I'm not mistaken.
Late
I think one of them
late
is
30s. They're in their 30s. I think Eddie is like 38, 39.
And the more they the one thing that I do want to kind of like clear up is we got to think about what county we're talking about. We're talking about Rankin County. So when they took him to the hospital, whatever they had in the report is that they got all these charges. So they're not thinking about justifying anything. They're thinking, oh, they was the criminal. So they not
criminals.
justifying
Right.
anything. They just want to take them to jail.
Right.
Correct.
So Michael Jenkins was 32. He was 32 well, actually it says in the report January 2023. As of January 2023, he was 32. So I'm assuming he's 33 right now. So he was
Mm-hmm.
32 years old and only weighing
Mhm.
155 pounds, you guys. That's a small guy, okay? A very, very small guy. You
Yes, he
already
Yes,
know
very
very.
small.
out of shape ass cops that we just saw, part of the Goon Squad, who looked like they were, 100 pounds over him. Okay, so he was 32 years old, and then Parker was 35 years old, which 36 now, and he weighed
Mm-hmm.
170 pounds. So they still two fairly, small guys, because 170 is not even big, but 155
Right.
is
Right.
hell. I'm bigger than both of them. These them, well, I weigh more than both of them. These some little guys.
Yeah.
155 pounds. That's why they picked on him, because he was smaller. And to me, that ain't nothing but a coward. A coward goes after the little cowards, because not saying that they didn't do anything. They took out the most harm on Michael Jenkins because he was smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
Well,
let
they
me ask you
both were
something.
sexually assaulted and everything else.
So now I know one of them was well, when you say sexually assaulted, because they tried to put the thing in their mouth.
Yeah,
Is
they
that what
actually
you're
put a
talking
dildo in both of their mouths on the edge of a rifle.
about? Oh wow, that doesn't make no sense. But we're gonna go over the story. Is there anything outside of the story? Because I know sometimes things are not all black and white. Is there anything else that they left out that you guys know that y'all want to add?
Well, we're going at the head of the snake.
And
Brian
that's
Bailey.
Sheriff Bailey, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
Now, what? Let me ask you something about him right quick. What all involvement do you think he had? Do you think that he knew? Okay, I'm assuming that y'all feel like he knew, but do you think that that night he knew what was going on? Like, was he aware that night? And I'm just
Yes,
gonna put
we.
this back
It's
up
part of
to
their
this.
culture there.
Yes.
So it's a part
It's
of the
part of the
culture.
police culture. In order for them to work the night squad, which is considered as the Goon Squad shift, they have to
Mhm.
do certain things in order to even gain that shift. So each one
Oh,
of those officers spoke on that they have to do certain things in order to work their shift or get overtime hours. So we blame the leadership.
so let me ask you about this, Sherelle. Were there
Yes,
any evidence, any text message or anything that they text Sheriff Bailey that night to say, "Hey, we messed up, we effed up," anything like that?
no, neither one of them said anything. They did talk internally. One of the people that's also arrested was one of the trainers for the sheriff department, an investigator.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, which is good friends with Sheriff Brian Bailey.
that's
And
probably what Mac. What's his name? McApin. McApin.
Hmm.
is McApin, yeah, he's the oldest, 53 years old. He's the chief
Right,
investigation, and they said that he
right,
was number 4 in
correct,
charge under Sheriff Bailey's
correct.
leadership.
Right, it's part of their culture because they was too comfortable with doing what they did. I'm ready.
I
And
I
now,
told her, Sherelle, I
now,
told Amora that that's not the first time Hunter actually killed someone. He killed Damian Cameron as well.
Correct. And that's not the only one. We do have a third
There's
person
more.
that we're also fighting for, which is AS, where they took
Yes.
outside of the county and actually sexually assaulted him as well.
it don't make no sense. Okay. And so Brett McAlpine, and we just call him Brett. I can't pronounce his name, but he's the one that received the phone call from the neighbor, the nosy neighbor, right?
Yes.
Right. But that's telling you something.
That they do things personally that don't go straight through the
Correct.
protocol.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. And he's the one that rallied up all these guys, because I heard in the court document that they said that he wasn't even a part of the Goon Squad.
Correct. He was actually over the Goon Squad.
He's over it, but how is he over it and not a part of it? I mean, I know they said he trained them, but when you say over it, how do
Right.
you?
So if you training them, you're basically teaching them to do what they're doing.
Okay, so why did they say he's not a part of it though? Do he not like
Just
read
because
it?
he didn't have the pen and he wasn't in the group text, he didn't have to be in the group text because he was over them.
Okay, I got what you're saying. He wasn't in the group text on all they other missions, huh?
Right.
Yes.
So, they just can't just say that part. They can't just say that part because he had a lot of responsibility on training those people properly. I feel like he actually ruined a lot of those guys. They might have had good hearts at one point,
Right.
maybe. That's a big maybe. But if you deal with something long enough, or if you feel like you're trying to take care of your family, you're going to do whatever you're told to do. But their integrity was off, that they didn't say, well, you know what? This job is not worth my integrity and my morals and my principles. They
Right.
didn't care about
Exactly.
any of it or the effect that they had on somebody else's family because Michael could have died.
Yeah, he absolutely. And they were banking on him dying, correct?
Yes, they left him on the
Yes.
floor
Yeah, because they didn't.
bleeding.
Now, let me ask you this: after 2 weeks of him being in the hospital, at what point did they actually believe that the officers were in the wrong? How long did it take?
It was automatically known that they were in the wrong.
Yeah, but
We
they
knew
said the sheriff
my
supported
son
them.
actually is a good friend of Michael's. Hmm.
So, but the sheriff supported them in the beginning. How long did it take for the sheriff to come back and say, "Okay, no, I don't support them no more"?
He
He
still
never
never
said
really
that.
admitted. No.
Well, he said he on a interview yesterday. He said that they're not deputy sheriffs, they're criminals. He calls
Yeah,
them
he said
criminals.
that now for the camera, Amora, but he never admitted.
Right.
He never.
He never said that. As a matter of
Yes.
fact, after court yesterday, he actually was standing in the balcony looking down at us. Not one time did he say anything. When we went to go and speak to him at his office, they said, "Oh, he's not here." But you was just in the balcony overlooking us.
And that was yesterday.
That was yesterday for the
So
state
now
sentencing.
you live in Brandon or are you here in Houston?
No,
No, I'm in
Jackson.
Jackson, Mississippi.
Are you in Jackson? And that's right outside this city. This county is right outside of Jackson.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Now, wow, that's amazing. Okay, so you're in Mississippi. That's good. But
And
so
Amora, Amora,
go
somebody in
ahead.
the comment asked, is the neighbor being charged for anything? We will hope that they will soon get to the neighbor because the neighbor is the one who actually
And he
started the whole.
incited it.
Yes.
The
And
neighbors.
yes, we are trying to find a way to attack that from a different angle because whatever angle we go at, we want to make sure that we're doing it properly and that it sticks.
Yes.
Got you. And also the lady, the white lady house that they was over. What was she doing? Why they was getting beat up and tortured?
No, she actually was gone to a doctor's visit. As a matter of fact, they
Also,
waited
she
until she left
Mm-hmm.
and
right.
then they went over there and did that. But she had been being threatened and different things of that nature as well. They told her that they wanted to set her house on fire with her in it.
All because she was dating a black guy.
Well, she's actually not dating a black guy. They have been friends since school. And she ended up in a bad accident and ended up paralyzed. So
And
he's
Eddie
been
took
there
care
to
of
take care of her.
her. Mm-hmm.
Also, that was not her man. That was so Terrell. That wasn't her man.
No, that was not none of her man.
Oh, so the news said that the news said that he was dating a lady. Okay, wow. Okay, So he wasn't even dating. So neither one of those guys were dating her.
No,
But they do date two white women though, correct?
it was. You said, do they what now?
The two black guys date two white women, correct? They both date white women, correct?
Yes, they I guess off and on their personal life, but it
Uh-huh.
still doesn't excuse what has happened.
Right. Absolutely don't excuse it. Heck no. I mean, I don't even think dating a black or white or whatever the case may be should be even a damn. It shouldn't even be a conversation in 2024. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
No, it
Right.
shouldn't.
who's still talking about the color of people's skin in 2024?
Correct.
So yeah, no, I think that's crazy. But so the lady that was there, so she didn't witness any of it. She didn't see any of it. She was not there. She was at the hospital at a doctor's appointment on her own. And the two black guys. So I heard that Brett Alpine, Mac Alpine, how do you say his name? Alpine.
Mhm.
He went out and surveilled the house before he even called up these people to even come out. He did a surveillance to find out what entry to go in and that type of stuff, right?
Correct.
Did a recon. Yes.
The recon. And then now another thing. Now I see it said it happened on January 24th, but what it didn't say what time of the day it was. What was it, like daylight? Because if she was at a doctor's appointment, I'm assuming this happened in the daytime.
Yes. Well, they said
So they
it happened during the daytime, but she wasn't there. She had went to a doctor's appointment. Whether she went straight home is unknowingly, but we do know she had left that day for a doctor's appointment.
So do you know what time of the day this incident took place?
If I'm not mistaken, it probably was like in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
think. I think they said it was afternoon when it actually kind of happened. That's when it started.
Oh yeah, I see
Right.
it says between 9:30 and 10 p.m. So
Yeah,
that's
it
what it
was
says
in
on
hmm
the night before, between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Six white Rankin County Sheriff deputies illegally raided the private residence where Eddie Terrell Parker and Michael Corey Jenkins were lawfully residing, and they forced their way
Correct.
into the and did not possess a backup warrant. So now, did they try to get a warrant after they realized they mucked up?
no.
They tried to do a lot of things after they realized they messed up.
All right.
Like trying
Yeah,
to,
seems like
well, they
because
did steal the hard drive and all of that. After they shot Michael, they rallying up, trying to come up with a lie
Mm-hmm.
to try to excuse themselves. They couldn't even clean themselves up. And nobody
yeah.
turned themselves in until like maybe 2-3 months later to let somebody know that they really did mess up
And it was only
outside
because
of
of those
pulling
phone
Sheriff
calls.
Brian Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one phone call changed a lot of things because the night that he actually got shot, my son called me about him because they wouldn't tell him where Michael was.
So what phone call are you talking about when you said that one phone call changed everything? What phone call was that?
That
The
was me
neighbor.
calling Malik Zulu
Say that one
and
more time.
investigating. Malik Zulu Shabazz calling that particular attorney and his investigative team. And it had to shed light because once they had legal heat on them, they had no other choice but to open it up. And the meeting with DOJ also.
Mm-hmm.
So now did Eddie Parker, because okay, so Jenkins got shot and he went to the hospital. Was Parker locked up?
I'm sorry, what now?
So Jenkins was in the hospital fighting for his life. Was Parker actually locked up and booked in jail?
No, he was not in jail.
So they didn't charge Parker with anything. They only charged Eddie. I'm
But
sorry.
They only
Eddie Parker is the same person.
the charges on him.
No. I'm saying so they
They
charged him
tried to.
methamphetamines and all this. Who would they say
Right. Right. They tried to say that was the reason why they had Michael under the sheriff's care because they was talking about the gun and the drugs, and they tried to get Eddie to be on their side by saying, "Oh, we'll drop all the charges if you
Mm-hmm.
cooperate with what we're saying."
So they wanted Eddie to turn on his friend, but they didn't lock Eddie up that night.
No,
How can you charge him with? I thought that was an offense that you can be locked up for a minute.
More, they did everything illegal. They did everything illegal. All their paperwork was the same. It basically was like a copy and paste. So they were basically able to do whatever they wanted to do.
Right. But what I'm saying is, okay, so after they did what they did and shot Michael, and they locked him up. He was handcuffed to the top of the bed. But Eddie Parker, the guy that wanted him to cooperate with them in their story, they just made him stay in the house.
they thought that he was gonna be on their side, but he didn't, and I'm thankful that he didn't.
I'm shocked that they would entrust him to try to turn on his friend. I'm shocked that they would think that would happen.
Yeah, because they was planning on giving him 30 years to everything, so they was trying to
Yes.
work it out, but their plan failed.
They was gonna give Michael Jenkins 30 years.
They was trying to plant enough evidence to get him 30 years with methamphetamines and a branded gun and stuff like that. That's automatically like 30 years. So they told him that if he did what they wanted him to do, but if he didn't, then he would get those 30 years.
Right.
So now, and is Eddie the one that called the lawyer and told him that?
No,
So who reported the incident?
that would be me.
Sherelle called the lawyer.
Who did?
We know that lawyer personally.
I
He's
did.
a Black Panther as well.
But how did he call him if he was in the hospital and he couldn't talk because they
No,
shot
I
him?
did. No, I did. I
How
called
did
the
you
attorney
how did you
because the
find out?
same night that Michael was shot, Michael is my son's best friend. The same night Michael was shot, my son called me upset and crying because they didn't know where Michael was. So with that, I got on the phone and I called attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz because I knew he knew what to do to get me the results that I needed, which was to find out where Michael was, where his mom could see him.
Right.
So once we got that resolved, where she could see him, which we had to pay a bail agent in order for that to even happen. But he came down maybe 2 weeks later. Malik Zulu Shabazz did, where we did the press conference, and that's where even more information was still
Came out.
spewing out.
Mm-hmm.
Even more information came out. So that's how that ended up happening with Malik.
Okay, so I'm assuming. Okay. All right. I was just trying to put some pieces together. So I'm assuming the other guy, Eddie Parker, must have told some people what happened, and then it went from there. And your son called you, and you got the ball rolling.
Well, yeah, somebody called my son
Mhm.
the same day that it happened. So when he received the call, he called me. And I said,
I
"Well,
got
son, why? What's going on?" Because when he answered the phone, well, when I answered the phone, rather, my son was hysterical, crying, and I'm like, "Who did it?" You know, my son's 25 years old. I'm like, "Who did it?" I think somebody done something to my child.
right.
And he was like, "Nah, mama, my friend, my best friend." And I'm like, "What happened?" And when he told me, I said, "Mama gonna get on it right now." And I did. I missed my turn. And I'm
I got
like, "Okay, I got it." So it's been up ever since. Cause I told him, don't nobody make my son cry. I look at everybody's son
Exactly.
and say, "Mine."
And how old is your son?
You said, how is he?
How
How
old
old?
is he?
25.
Oh, okay.
So for to hear a grown
Yeah.
man cry about another grown man, oh, it hit
Right.
different.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely,
So
definitely.
I was like,
Okay.
who did it? Where they
And so you guys are working on other cases in Brandon or Jackson as a whole? Brandon or Mississippi as a whole? I'm
at? Rankin
Um,
County, period.
saying. Okay,
but
Rankin
We
County.
Sherelle,
already got about 900 calls that have come in about all these different cases in Rankin County.
but we also work on cases in other states. People call all the time. We got cases in Houston. We
Right.
got cases in wherever we're needed. We try to go. We try to get those cases. So it's just not Mississippi wide. It's nationwide.
And so y'all are part of the Black Panthers, is what it's called?
We have Black Panthers. We have the Poor People Campaign. You also have the Elmo Geronimo Crack Club, which is out of Houston, and you have different entities of the Black Panther. So there are different regions. So yes, it's a lot of different people who are involved.
Okay, I got you. Wow. Wow. So you guys get around. So that's good. So, but that's crazy. Now, I'm curious. They got a plea deal, but and I understand. I'm gonna put my own spill on this. I'm assuming because it was they didn't want to spend the money to try to find him guilty, and Michael and Eddie didn't want to go back through the trauma. But did they even ask them? Did they ask these guys? Were they okay accepting a plea deal? I mean, did they ask Eddie and Jenkins, were they okay with these officers accepting a plea deal, or it's not up to them?
Well, that was them having to go through the different attorneys. Is it this one?
And then
Well,
also,
they had to go through the
Sherelle,
different attorneys for that.
But
and then
Jenkins and Parker was okay with them getting plea deals.
Yes, because of the culture here, most of the time, 9 out of 10, they never get charged.
right, exactly.
Never.
So he was like, since they pled guilty, he wanted them to basically spend any time rather than to get off, is what you're saying.
Right.
And let me
Okay.
add to it, Sherelle, because originally they told us when they pleaded guilty or more, they had them up to 120 years in prison. So that could have been like a factor in it as well. Because so like someone was supposed to be getting up to 120 years, 80 years, 60 years. So that played a part in it as well, probably.
So you don't think that I mean you from Jackson, Sherelle, you don't think that they would have found these guys guilty?
Yes, they would have.
They would have
That's
found them guilty, and that's for sure. But most of
They
the
would have
time,
got.
they get a slap on the wrist, a year,
Mhm.
6 months, some very, very, very small. The only reason why they
Yes.
got as much time as they did is because it went national.
And those text messages, their subpoena calls.
Yep. And that's it. Yep.
oh wow. I would have pushed for a trial, but I mean, I hear what you're saying as far as the judge would have given them a slap on the hand. Now the judge that sentenced them, is he out of Rankin County or he's somewhere else?
He is from Rankin County, and I think he was pissed off because it done brought too much heat on his county.
Kimberly, no, Pike County not close to Rankin County. They are in two different directions.
She said the judge, right?
No, I was answering somebody in the chat. They said is
Oh,
Pike
okay.
County near Rankin County. They're in two different
Oh
directions.
no.
But they both are on the same entity. They both are messy, racist.
Oh Lord, yes. We know not to cross the bridge. If you're not from here, we'll tell you don't cross that bridge. Not especially not at night.
Oh wow, that's scary.
Exactly.
That's really, really scary. But I'm looking, it says that 73.5% whites in that county and 21% black. Is the 21% blacks in that county, are they like under privileged? I mean, like low income? Is that why they there? Because like why the hell out.
No, because there's actually that city, that town actually is one of the better towns to actually live in, to be honest. It's racist, but when it comes to living there, the housing and all of that, it's one of the most expensive area to live in. Most people like to go there for the good life, let me say, but it's not a good life there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
really?
Mm.
Lord.
Now, if you got to look
So
over your shoulder and worry about who your neighbor is,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that's crazy. That's really, really crazy. Yeah, so I'm just wow. I'm just sitting up here. So they entered the property without a warrant. They subdued them, handcuffed them, and proceeded to beat them. And they were beating them because they wanted them to plead guilty or admit that they were doing criminal activities. So
I'm
it just
sorry,
seems
could you
like
repeat that?
so they entered the property. They started. They subdued them. They handcuffed them and start beating them, trying to get them to confess to criminal activities.
Correct.
So
Well, they actually was beating them while they was handcuffed.
right, right. They
The only
start beating them
time
while
they
they.
removed their handcuffs is when they showered together.
Yeah. So they did that. So they because they wanted them to confess to criminal activities to what just send them to jail to get them off the street.
Yeah, just torturing them.
So they just oh we just want these black guys locked up. Let's go find some black guys and get them locked
They
up and
were the
start.
only blacks on that street. Period.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So
Michelle
now
said it's like a sundown town. No, it's not a
It
sundown town,
is
but people get treated so badly out there when you are black, to be
correct.
honest.
that's crazy. Wow, that's just crazy. I just don't understand. So okay. So we're gonna go through this we're gonna go through this lawsuit right quick. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I decided not to because we've already went over some things. But I do want to point out some things in the lawsuit, and then I want to go
Hmm.
over to now who runs this site called the Mississippi Free Press? Is that from you guys?
No,
That's
that's
not
a
a
newspaper.
newspaper.
Okay, it's a newspaper. Okay, because
Mhm.
they have the lead up to everything, with a text message where they saying, "Hey, grab the weapon, grab some drugs, check for the
Mhm.
cameras," and they basically laying out their plot and plan. I think criminals they have to be some of the dumbest people in the world,
Yes, I
for
agree.
them to have to write out what they action, what they plan on doing.
But this not
Correct.
the first time, so they actually know what to do, because this wasn't their first victim and it
No,
wasn't the second.
But they're
it
gonna
was
go back.
never.
They're gonna go back and look at all these other cases, correct? That have locked up.
Yes, we talked to the DOJ and we told her we want them to investigate every case that they have taken that was subdued under Rankin County, Madison County, all these different counties, even Jackson, Mississippi, because they have been padding charges on people, getting them
Mm-hmm.
felonies, and they can't even go on with their lives because of things that those people have done.
Absolutely.
So
I
we
can only
requested that they check into that like ASAP.
right
So all
now.
of them are under investigation right now.
So now, what make y'all think that they will actually do this?
They're doing it because, as a matter of fact, when I was leaving the courthouse yesterday, due to us being part of Black Lawyers for Justice, as well as being a Black Panther, we do security. So we're most times the last ones to leave. Now, this is also a
Right.
town that has a Confederate statue in the
In
middle
the middle
of
of
the
town.
road.
That's what I was
Right?
telling them yesterday.
Yeah, I saw
That's
that
about
statue.
40 feet high. So,
Right. Yeah.
and
Now,
an empty flagpole where the Confederate flag used to fly.
Mm-hmm.
oh, I thought it. Well, on the picture still shows it. Now, let me ask you: is this a small town?
Yes.
No,
It's a small
Not so
town.
much because you got
It's not
Pearl
that
and
small, but it's
Brandon,
small.
so they run together, basically.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Earl and Brandon kind of run together.
Yes,
yeah,
Okay. Somebody said, do they treat women like this as well?
yes.
She said, yeah.
they do.
If you're black, yes.
Wow.
Somebody say, did she say this was? Did she say, this not their first time? No, this not their first time. They actually
No.
killed one of our other young men's, Damian Cameron, the year before, and they also um did it to another young man who case we are actually working with too as well. So yes, this is
Yeah,
not
they
their
drove
first
one
time.
person to Jackson and sexually assaulted him.
Yes.
So is that a thing? Sexual assault? I mean, that what is supposed to do to keep you quiet or some crap or something? Like, what is that? Why are they
No,
being
just
that?
raping them or more. Just raping them, sexual
I
assaulting them.
know that just sounds really crazy to me. I'm gonna show the picture of this guy. He's not a part of the police department. He's a rookie. I guess they say he was supposed to be doing it, but he's been a cop since 2017. So I don't know what type of initiation he's doing in 2023. He had already been a cop for 5 years.
Who is this
I'm
guy right
sorry,
here
y'all. My
now?
phone is about to die on y'all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Sherelle. I mean, if you don't mind, I can get your information from Sharon. Is that okay?
That'll be fine.
Okay, and I'll give her my information to give to you as well. Okay.
Okay, then. Thank you. And peace be
Thank
unto
you,
you.
sister. I'll
Okay. Thank you
call
so
All
you.
much.
right, my sister. I love you to life.
Love you.
Okay. All right. That's good. If she can, maybe come back tomorrow if we have this over tomorrow, that's fine. So this guy
Mhm.
is the one. He's the youngest one. This is the Joshua Hartfield guy that was over. He's a Richland police officer. He is the one that tried to burn their clothing. He tried to burn the clothing of Michael and Eddie. And my thing is, what is he burning their clothes for?
Been going, been going.
Okay, so she took a phone call, you guys. Anyway, it says that he
Hold on.
tried to. Okay, hold on.
Amor, give me 1 second, okay?
Okay, no worries. I'm gonna put you on mute just in case. Just let me know when you come back. So apparently, this is the guy that's in the county next door to Brandon. I guess this is Richland Police Department, and this is Joshua Hartford. Okay, he's actually been a cop for 6 years, but it said that he it says that he dosed them with cooking oil, chocolate syrup, milk, and eggs. Like he literally like that. These people are really kind of sick in the head because for what? So he threw eggs at them. He put cooking oil all over them, poured milk over them, and chocolate syrup. Like what the hell? Was he trying to make a smoothie or some shit? I don't know. But he also tried to burn the clothing of Eddie and Michael, the clothing that they were wearing. He attempted to burn their clothing, I guess, for evidence or whatever, But he was charged with a felony for assaulting the officers and for trying to plant drugs on them as well, because that's what he did. And it said that the crime, if he would have been charged for it, would have gave him 39 years. But I think he got less than that. He got the least amount of time, which was 15 years. But had he taken it to court, he would have got 39 years. Hey, everybody that's just walking in. I'm gonna go into some of the lawsuit and go over some of the details. I was gonna read the whole thing, but it's just gonna take entirely too long. Okay. All right, like we already said, the two gentlemen that were involved in this case was Michael Jenkins, which is the one that was 150 pounds, 5'9" and Eddie Parker. Okay, Michael was 32 at the time; he's 33 now. Both of them are African American. Michael Jenkins, like I said, 32, 155 pounds, standing 5 foot tall. Eddie Parker was 35 at the time, now 36, 5'10", weighing 170 pounds. So neither one of these are big, threatening men. You understand what I'm saying? They weren't big, bad wolves or anything like that. They were actually the residents of the home that they entered illegally, okay? And they entered this home without a warrant, without probable cause, just from a phone call from a nosy ass neighbor saying that these two black guys are living with a white woman and she suspected illegal activities going on at that house. You know how these nosy ass fucking Karens always want to say, oh, and I think they're doing things illegally. You know how that goes, right? So that's what they did, okay? The town Rankin County, Mississippi is 73% white and 21% black. That's according to the 2019 data census, okay? 21%, that's a small percentage when it's compared to 73% white people, okay? So the town basically is majority white, okay? So anyway, let's talk about, okay, let's start here. Hold on. All right, so like I said, they entered the premises without a warrant. They kidnapped the two of them, held them hostage because they handcuffed them as soon as they entered, right? They handcuffed them and began to assault them, okay? And this was all done over racial bias. Racial bias. They did not like the fact that these two black guys was associating with a white woman, okay? This was all racial bias, all because they was black, all because they was black. So they entered, and listen, they entered different sides of the house. They all didn't just rush, all 6 officers did not just rush in the front door, didn't just rush in the side door. Some entered the side, some entered the back, and some entered the front, okay? They ambushed these people in this house, okay? It said at this point, nor at any point did either victim ever resist, run away, or oppose the deputies. They didn't get loud, they didn't run, they didn't hit, they didn't do nothing. It was like, who the hell are you? They were shocked. They were caught off guard. They didn't know these people was coming to their house. While they were handcuffed, being beaten, assaulted, eggs thrown at them, Crisco oil poured over their heads, and all type of other shit. They were being called the N-word, monkeys, and other racial slurs by these people that's supposed to protect and serve. 6 white officers that signed up to protect and serve, okay? They were also accused of dating a white woman. They were accused while they getting beat, slapped, punched, kicked, choked. They were being called names. They were being accused of dating a white woman. Okay, and this went on. I heard one news channel say 90 minutes. I heard another news channel say 2 hours. We're going to say up to 2 hours. 90 minutes that's a long ass time in itself. 90 minutes to 2 hours, up to 2 hours of torture. They were waterboarded, had to hold their head up under water, trying to get them to admit that they had committed a criminal offense so they could be taken off the street for 30 years. Yeah, they didn't want them gone. They didn't want them on their street. They didn't want them around their white woman. So they was willing to give them 30 years to get them off the street so they wouldn't be around a white woman. And they did all this torturing bull crap to get them to say, okay, I did something wrong. I confess. I'm a criminal, even though they wasn't. And from listening to Sharon and Sherelle, these 2 black men were willing to die because they did not admit to any wrong. They said, no, I'm not going to admit that I did a criminal activity when I know I didn't. They were willing to die because they were not going to say I did something that I did not do. Okay? Now that speaks volume, in my opinion. They were willing to die for their truth. They were
Yes.
willing to go to glory, but they were not going to admit to something and spend 30 years in jail for something that they did not do. While they were handcuffed, like I said, they were punched, kicked, waterboarded, but they were also tased. Okay? I don't know if you ever been tased before, but that ain't no good feeling, okay? They were tased with stun guns, eggs thrown at them, Crisco oil poured on their face, kicked, punched, all this stuff. Sexually assaulted. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that from these sick fucks. All 6 of them are cowards. Because guess what? It took 6 of them to do this to 2 guys weighing under 200 pounds. Now, if it was one officer there, you think he would have done this? No, he would have been scared out of his goddamn on mind around 2 brothers. But because he's around 5 other goony ass cops, they get bold, they get brave. You understand what I'm saying? They won't do this shit when they standing alone. But if they get around their boys, they good old boys, this is how they behave. It said that the deputy fired the taser 20 to 30 times on both victims. They were tased 20 to 30 times, y'all. Now we see sometime when a suspect is running and he get tased one time, he falls to the ground, shake a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? It don't look like it feels good. Can you imagine this happening 20 to 30 times each? On each victim, they tased them 20 to 30 times. Like, how is that even right? How didn't they think at this time when this was going on? How didn't they think, wait a minute, what we're doing is absolutely absurd? Absolutely crazy. Criminal. Because they've done it before and they thought they was going to be able to get away with it again. Yeah. They thought they was going to get away with it again. Again, it says they called them and while they was handcuffs, and they said all of this occurred under the supervision of the sheriff, Sheriff Bailey. Now, the lawsuit is saying that they know Sheriff knew about this. They said the reason why he knew about this because don't none move in that town without Sheriff knowing about it. Okay? Let's talk about the waterboarding. Waterboarding is done for prisoner wars, stuff like that, right? They try to get you to talk. So they hold your head underwater and they pour water over your head. Sometimes they might cover your mouth up with a pillowcase or with something. They could try to cover your mouth up so you can't talk really, so you can't really breathe. And then they have your head up underwater and they beating you and shit trying to get you to talk. It almost causes you to drown. So they were doing that. They do this to prisoners of wars, y'all. They do this. They say, Amor, where was the lady? The lady was at a doctor's appointment. She left and went to a doctor's appointment and didn't come straight home. So wherever she went off to, we don't really know. But waterboarding is a form of water torture. They were torturing them with water, which could cause drowning. They do this to war criminals. But they were doing it to black people because they don't look at black people as humans. They look at them automatically as criminals.
Yes.
So these 6 police officers that's supposed to protect and serve were treating 2 black men automatically as criminals. You know? Let's get into the sexual assault. Let's go back a minute. Even while they waterboarding them, they were still being called racial slurs. We ain't gonna forget that. We ain't gonna forget fighting for your life, almost drowning, right? Being treated like a freaking criminal, a war criminal, right?
In Amora.
They still being called names, the N-word, monkeys, boy, little boy. What's up, Sharon? I'm sorry. When I get into it, I get into it.
I know, I know. They took everything that they can take out the refrigerator and actually try to drown away. They had eggs, they had milk, they had liquor, they had everything they can possibly take in the house that was liquid form. They used it on them to actually try to drown them. So it
And
was
that doesn't
everything. It
make
was chocolate and everything.
Yeah, I thought that was really stupid. They go in their refrigerator and mess with their food. How would they feel if somebody did that to them or their son? This is absolutely absurd to me. Absolutely absurd to me. Let's talk about the sexual assault and the humiliation, okay? Now, I don't understand why police officers are walking around with dildos in their pocket any damn way. Okay?
Hmm.
Something's wrong with it. I don't know what in the world is going on in these day and age. What's going on when you got men walking around with dildos? Okay? Why? Why are men, we ain't talking about no woman, we talking about men. Why are they walking around with dildos anyway? I'm thinking it's because they're using these devices to sexually assault and humiliate men because they know that takes away a certain level of pride from a man. The humiliation of having a dildo stuck up your butt or in your mouth is pure humiliation. It brings a man's pride down so low. They
Mm-hmm.
did it to slaves back in the day, you guys. But I think they stuck anything up their butt back then, like brooms and objects that wasn't really dildos. They did it. They call it. I think they call it butt breaking or Jay know more about it than I do, but I want to say it's called butt breaking. But they do it to humiliate the guys and kind of make it brings their pride down and make them feel really, really low about themselves. You know what I mean? Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
very humiliating tactic that apparently these freaking police officers are been doing. Because you can't tell me that this is the first time they've done something like this. Because why are they walking around with it on them in the first place? But yeah, you guys, they took a dildo or some type of sexual device, that's what it says in here,
Mm-hmm.
and they tried to stuff it in the guys' mouths, right? Both of them. They tried to put the dildo in their mouth. As you know, they fought them off. They wouldn't open their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, okay, you don't want to open your mouth. They threw the lightweight one, Michael Jenkins, the lightweight. I say he's lightweight because he was 150 pounds, smaller than most of us. I know I weigh more than 150 pounds, right?
Right.
But they threw Michael down on his stomach and tried to take the dildo and put it in his rear end. And the only reason why they were unable to do that is because he defecated on himself. He was scared, you guys, terrified, humiliated, embarrassed, hurt. He was hurt. He defecated on himself. This was all caught off guard. What the hell is going on? So he got scared. Okay? And that's the only way, the only reason it stopped. And let me show you the guy that did it with his sick ass. And you know, all of them are sick. All of them are sick. But let's just show you the guy that took pleasure with trying to sexually assault another man. This dude right here, the third one, Christian Deadman. Christian Deadman with his overweight ass. With his overweight ass, you know he weighed more than 150. He probably wanted to. Let me stop. He took the dildo. They said it was on the tip end of the weapon.
Yes.
Which I'm trying to picture that in my head. But they must have wrapped it with tape or whatever the case may be. Put the dildo on the tip end of the weapon and tried to shove it up the lightweight, the guy that's weighing only 150 pounds, try to stick it in his behind. But the guy defecated on himself. So then they get mad and throw them in the shower together to bathe. because they didn't want to take them to prison or whatever with boo-boo on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is crazy. So right here it says, all right, let's go back to it. I just want to try to show y'all this little fat fuck. But let's go back to it. So it says, as they attempted to insert it in their mouths, they both, you know, tried to move their head side to side so it wouldn't go in their mouth. And it says the deputies sat there and watched the little fat chubby guy do this, and they laughed. They mocked and laughed at Jenkins at this point. Okay? Then it says Jenkins and Parker both defecated on themselves, right? And the sexual device, it actually says, if had they not both defecated on themselves, they would have inserted the device in their anal cavities, is what it says. So that's why the dildo didn't get inserted in the anal cavities, is because they both defecated on themselves, okay? So they said that they, you know, they mocked, they laughed, they did all that, but that bull crap, and then they made them shower together, okay? It says, on top of the outrage during the period of the 2 hours, we already talked about how they hurled eggs at them, which I'm sitting up here thinking, what the fuck was that for, right? And it says when they went into the house, they saw this. They saw the dildo laying on the ground as evidence. They got a picture of that. They saw the eggshells all over the walls, on the floors, on, you know. They saw all that. In an effort to sanitize their act in the middle of the torture ordeal, they ordered both men to strip naked and shower together. And again, they did this to try to cover up the bullshit. They wanted the eggs off of them, the oil, Crisco oil off of them, the syrup off of them, the, you know, the boo-boo off of them. They wanted them, I guess, sparky clean before they left. They ordered them, this is all at gunpoint, mind you. They ordered them to shower together, okay? They said either shower together or you're going to face more punishment. All 6 of them did this, you guys. They said the showering together was designed to humiliate and intimidate them, to conceal the evidence of the eggs being hurled at them and the attempted sexual assault. Okay? And still it says the whole time they were being called the N-word, monkey, and little boy, and all that stuff. Then here goes the threat to take their life, okay? It says that they repeatedly placed the weapon to each of their heads, threatening to unalive them. Now, imagine through all this bullshit that you just went through. All the bullshit that they went through, right? Hazing, assault, the waterboard, getting beat, kicked, sexually assaulted. Now they got weapons pointed at their head and they're being threatened to be unalived. All because they wanted them to admit to crimes, illegal activities that they did not commit. Because they wanted them off the street and away from that white woman, okay? And they pointed the weapons at their head while still handcuffs, okay? While they were still handcuffed. They cowards. You did all this to me while I'm handcuffed because you are a coward. That's why, because you are a coward. That's how they treat black people, because in my opinion, I feel like they're scared of them. If they would not have been handcuffed, they wouldn't have done all this, because I think those black guys would have fought them back, okay? At any rate, now let's talk about the attempt to unalive Michael Jenkins, the one that was only 150 pounds, okay? So it says, after nearly 2 hours of the torture sessions and around 11:40, Edwards, let's pull him up right quick. Edwards. Let's pull him up. Hold on. The first one, Hunter Edwards, 31 years old. Hunter Edwards put his service weapon into Jenkins' mouth, okay, and pulled the trigger. Just like Sherelle said, the first time he did it, nothing happens. It was to scare him, right? Then he pulled the trigger again, and the weapon goes off. This is still while Jenkins is handcuffed. This is still why he's handcuffed. He pulled the trigger, and the gunshot it shattered the jaw and severely lacerated his tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually surprised that he's still alive. You understand what I'm saying? It's a surprise that this man is still alive. He didn't choke on his blood or anything like that. Like, this is a surprise that he is still alive. To be honest with you, because I don't know too many people that get shot in the mouth and survive. So it was a reason why he's still here. And I hope he knows that, okay? But he suffered permanent, you guys. Didn't know, oh, he's going to be okay tomorrow. He suffered permanent physical damage for life, for the rest of his life. He suffered permanent damage because this mother sucker right here, Hunter Edwards, call himself trying to play a little game. And then he gonna try to say, oh, I didn't know no bullet was in the chamber. Why are you putting your service weapon into someone's mouth and pulling the trigger in the first place? For what? For what?
Absolutely.
Because you are an evil human being, because you are a demon. Yeah. So this guy, 31 years old, Hunter Edwards, looking like he's about 55, looking about like he's somebody's granddaddy. He panicked, you guys. He panicked. Oh my God. Oh my God. What am I going to say now? Oh my God. Oh my God. No. He attempted to unalive Jenkins and then got scared afterwards. Jenkins didn't have a weapon. Matter of fact, Jenkins was still handcuffed. Jenkins or Parker had to lay not one hand on these officers, not one time. And all of these violent acts was done against them. They didn't retaliate not one time. Make that make sense. They can't say they was swung on. They can't say they was charged at. Nothing. Nothing. Which is crazy to me. Let's go back to the lawsuit.
Amor, can I answer some of the questions that a couple of people asking real quick?
Oh yeah, go right ahead. Mm-hmm.
I think it's Lady E. She said it was a real suspicion that they decided to go to the house when the lady went to an appointment. Was she questioned? She had nothing to do with it. They was actually staying there with her, so she had nothing to do with that actual event. It was the neighbor who actually called and said it was two suspicious black men next door. So she did not have anything. She actually got threatened as well. So they was trying to get her, wanted to burn the house up with her in it. And yes, and one more person said, did they have cameras in the house that the police did not know about? No, they didn't have cameras. They had already went out and did recon. So they had already know that it wasn't any cameras and it wasn't nobody there but them. So they already knew this up front.
Yeah.
I think those are the only two questions.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. I'm gonna stop here with the lawsuit, and I'm gonna read what led up to this, and then we'll come back to this, okay? Maybe that'll set a little bit more of your answers, okay? The lead up to this, okay? On January 24th of 2023, I'm gonna put their pictures up so you will see these monsters, right? So you will see these monsters, so you kind of know who's who, okay? So look at who's who. Sorry. All right. On January 24th of 2023, a neighbor notified Brett McAlpine, the one at the bottom, the first one at the bottom. That's the 53-year-old. He's the chief of investigation of the Rankin County Sheriff Department, okay? He's the oldest one of the little bunch, right? The one that they say train these little thugs to do what they do, right? So he was contacted by a neighbor, okay? And it said, and he was told by this neighbor that two black men were living in a nearby house, and they was reported to have suspicious activity going on, okay? So now Alpine, or Mac Alpine, I'm just gonna call him Alpine. Well, I don't give a damn what his name is. We're gonna call him Alpine. He reached out to Kristen Deadman. That's the one with the dildo, okay? Kristen Deadman, right? He's in the narcotics investigation at the RCSO, which I'm assuming that's the Rankin County Sheriff Office. Okay, the Rankin County Sheriff Office. He's over narcotics about the complaint. So he reached out to him and said, "Hey, you down for something, bro?" So now McAlpine and Deadman, along with the other men involved that night, were a part of the group called the Goon Squad. We've already figured that out. The Department of Justice says is known for more members of this squad, and its investigation into the sheriff's office continued. The FBI is actively soliciting information on other cases, okay? It says at around 9:28 p.m. the night of the 24th, right? Deadman texts what's the name of the place again? Rankin County Sheriff Officer Lieutenant Jeffrey Middleton. Middleton is the one in the middle, looking like a damn nerd, okay, at the top, looking like a broke down Superman or whatever. So Deadman, the dildo guy, he texts Superman, okay, broke down Superman, and then Patrol Deputy Hunter, okay, Hunter Edwards. So listen, Mac Alpine, Brett, was down at the bottom. He texts the dildo guy, Deadman. Deadman texts Middleton. Middleton texts Hunter. Okay? Okay? So they text each other and said, "Hey, you down for a mission? Are you down for this mission?" Okay? All right, hold on. Then Edwards texts Daniel Opendike, that dude down at the very bottom, the last one, okay? And they all asked each other on a text message, "Are y'all up for this mission?" Okay? So it looked like Deadman must have texted all of them together. That's what it say. Okay, my bad, whatever. Deadman texts all these guys, except for Joshua right now. Joshua ain't in it right now, y'all. But he texts, so Brett texts the dildo guy. Dildo texts all the other three guys, Middleton, Edwards, and Opendike, and said, "Are you down for a mission?" No warrant had been issued at this time, or at no time, to enter the premises, okay? No reports of intimate danger, any type of, I don't even know what this word is, circumstances, nothing, none of that. Nothing was reported that these guys had done anything illegal. Nothing has been reported to the police department, let me say that. So then Deadman, which is the dildo guy, informed the group of the potential for cameras at the property and that they should work easy, okay? The Department of Justice says that this was understood as a code to knock instead of breaking down the doors. Work easy means don't just bust down the door, just knock first, okay? But if there is no camera, go for what you know, okay? Go for what you know. That means green light to excessive force. Do what you got to do, okay? but don't leave no marks where the mug shot can capture. That's what he said. Beat the shit out of them, but don't leave no marks on the face or wherever the mug shot can tell that you beat the shit out of them. Do it to their ribs, their stomach, their legs, their back. But don't damage the face, because then we'll be all over national news saying that we beat these guys up and we have to answer questions. So don't hit them where people can see it. Do it to where they can, okay? Anyway, Middleton, Edwards, Operdike, they all met at a fire department. Now, they involved the goddamn fire department, okay? They went to the fire department. Then Deadman, the same dildo dude, he radioed the Richland Police Department narcotics officer Joshua Hartfield. Now, this is where Joshua dumbass come into play, okay? Because the dildo dude radioed his old buddy in a whole nother police department, Richland, okay? He radioed him, hey, Joshua, what you doing, bro? What you doing? Oh, nothing. You want to do some illegal shit to some black men? Oh, I'm down. Okay, meet me here, okay? So he radioed him for him to meet them at this address, okay? So anyway, then Deadman and Hartfield, which one is Hartfield? Oh, Joshua, okay? They drove by the staging area while Middleton, Edwards, and Operdike formed a convoy behind them. So the dildo dude and Joshua got in the car together, and the rest of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes, followed behind the dildo dude and the stupid ass Joshua, okay? So they get to the property, okay? And it said that Chief Investigator Alpine had already been surveilling the property. He had already found out which door to enter, where the lights at, if there's any cameras and all that bullshit. He came back and told them all of that, right? So he gave them the 411, okay? He said, hey, there's a camera near the front door. Stay away from the front door, guys. Let's go in through the back door and the side door. But don't go in the front door because there's a camera. So I'm telling y'all, don't just put cameras on your front door. I know a lot of people have the Ring doorbell, but make sure you have cameras also on your front, your back, and your side, okay? Not just your front. Not just your front. Because you're going to have sick fucks like Britt McAlpine that want to go by your house and look for cameras and then come back and tell his partners that you ain't got no cameras on the back and the side of your house, okay? Because had they had cameras, they would have knocked on the door. So going forward, make sure y'all have cameras on all your doors, okay? Especially if you live in a county like this one. Now, at any rate, they said the damn McAlpine dude had already surveillanced the camera and already warned them of what door to go in. The officers went to the side door and the back door and kicked them bitches in. They kicked the side door in and the back door. Didn't knock, didn't ring the doorbell, didn't call, didn't yell out. They kicked the damn door in, okay? They immediately inside the house, they tased Jenkins and Parker immediately. They tased them and then put them in handcuffs. They tased them immediately. Didn't ask no questions, didn't ask their names, didn't say how you doing. They tased them and put them in handcuffs immediately. Okay? And each officer played a role in the torture. So not one of these fucks that you see up here are less guilty than the other one, because they all played a role in the torture of some form. Then none of them sit back and just watch, okay? Not damn one of them. They all played a role, whether they burned the clothes, whether they used the dildo, whether they put chocolate milk, Crisco oil threw eggs at them, tased them, beat their ass, or shot them in the mouth. Okay? At least each officer did at least something to these two men. All while they were handcuffed. All while they were handcuffed, okay? So anyway, it says Desmond and Edward fired shots. Now, see, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that they fired shots in the home. Outside of the one that went in his mouth, they fired their weapon in their home. It says they fired it at the wall and then outside. What the freak? What? Yeah, so they fired their weapons. I didn't even know that. So now there's even more fear. They're more fear. Oh, we're gonna scare these jokers. So they fired their weapons before they even tried to put it in Jenkins' mouth. Okay. All right. So they fired the shots. Then Edwards, Hunter, placed his weapon after they beat the shit out of him and did all the other gross shit to him. Right. He put his weapon in Jenkins' mouth, pulled the trigger. The first one didn't fire. Okay. Then he did it again. And that one fired. So he panicked. Panic set in. He didn't know what to do. So they said, oh my God, we need to cock up a story because Jenkins fell to the floor and started to bleed out of his mouth. Okay? They're like, oh my God, we need a story. And we need one fast. Okay? So they came up with the story that Desmond, the dildo dude, had observed Jenkins in the driveway, had obtained a consent to search. Now, listen, this is baffling. This is baffling right here. It said the cover-up was going to be that Desmond, the dildo dude, obtained a consent to search the driveway. I mean, a consent to search without a warrant, right? And had found 2 bags of methamphetamine. So they were going to lie and say that he saw Jenkins in the driveway and Jenkins told them that they could search his house. So he was going to lie and say, oh no, I saw him in the driveway doing illegal activities. And he said, oh yeah, you can search my house. Yeah. And he was going to say, during his search, he found 2 bags of methamphetamine. Okay? From there, the story would go that Edwards, the one that shot him in the mouth, took Jenkins inside the home to conduct a drug buy over the phone, removed Jenkins' handcuffs, and Jenkins reached for his gun, which prompted Edwards to shoot him in self-defense. Oh, Lord. So listen to this, y'all. So listen. They were going to say that Edwards followed Jenkins in the house to conduct a drug buy. And then he took the handcuffs off of Jenkins, and Jenkins was supposed to reach for Edwards' gun, which was supposed to prompt Edward to shoot him in self-defense. Now listen, this is the cover-up that they plotted and planned and text to each other with their dumb motherfucking asses. Okay? Yeah. This is the story that they are saying that they're going to tell the world. That this is what happened, okay? So they said that apparently did not contemplate the difficulty of explaining they said they apparently did not contemplate the difficulties of explaining a self-defense shot inside of his motherfucking mouth, okay? That's what I was wondering. How you gonna say you shot him in self-defense when the bullet was in his mouth? How? What are you gonna say? Well, right here they said they didn't contemplate on that one. They didn't contemplate on that lie because you know they say when you lie, tell one lie, you got to tell another one, and then another one, and then another one. So why they call themselves going to say that Jenkins reached for the gun and Edwards shot him in self-defense, they forgot to say, oh, well, shit. How am I going to say it went in his mouth? How am I going to say that the bullet went in his mouth? They didn't contemplate on that. Okay? Is that they apparently did not contemplate the difficulty of explaining a self-defense shot from inside of Jenkins' mouth, nor whether the story would line up with the text message amongst the officers. Okay? So it says they also did not contemplate on how they all synced up and met at one man's house. How they all got together. That's what they said. They didn't contemplate on, well, how the hell did all of us get here at one time? How are we going to explain how all 6 of us got to the same residence at one time? They didn't know how to come up with that. They didn't know how to say how all 6 of their asses got into one location at the same damn time, okay? So then Lieutenant Middleton, the one that looked like broke down ass Superman up there, he offered to plant a throwdown gun. A throwdown, right? So now, y'all, I didn't know this, but a throwdown is a gun. It says a gun he kept in his patrol vehicle, a 38 snub-nosed revolver that was not registered to him. Okay, so a throwdown, if any of y'all want to know, a throwdown meaning they're going to throw down a gun and plant a damn gun at the scene, okay? That's what a throwdown means, okay? So Lieutenant Middleton, the broke down Superman, offered to plant his weapon that's not registered to him to try to say this is one of the weapons that they had, okay? But Edwards, which is the damn one that shot him in the mouth, he chose instead to use the BB gun to which he had earlier affixated with the dildo. Okay? He set it down beside Jenkins, who was still seriously wounded and without medical attention. They set the damn BB gun down beside Edwards, okay? Dedmon, the dildo dude, offered to take care of the drugs. He offered, y'all. He offered to take care of the drugs. I'll do it. I'll do the drugs for you guys. Here, let me lay down some methamphetamine, okay? It says he produced some methamphetamine he had previously compensated from an informant, but had not turned it into evidence. So he done took some methamphetamines that he ain't even turned in yet, and he offered to plant that on the scene. The officers began trying to clean the scene, looking for spent cases and collecting spent taser cartridges. So now they're trying to clean up their shit. Oh my God, let's clean this shit up. Let's clean up our mess that we made, okay? Middleton and Dedmon began ready to plant a gun and drugs may suggest something much more insidious, or whatever that word is, and systematic than a first-time blunder. So it sounds like it's saying that their offer to plant the drugs and the gun insinuate that it was not their first time. And it wasn't.
True.
Then on Hartfield. Go ahead, Sharon. Say what you was going to say, Sharon. Sharon.
Amora, I was saying it's true because the first victim that just came out, the other guy, they did the same thing to him. They planted drugs on him.
So Middleton and Dedmon, the first two, the guys up top, the middle and the last, they said that they was planting a weapon and drugs, meaning that they've done this shit before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then it said their willingness to plant the drugs and the gun suggests that this was not their first time. Okay. Then it says Hartfield, the little dumbass one, Joshua, that's from a whole different police station, right? He attempted to burn their clothes that they had been wearing. He dosed them with cooking oil, chocolate, milk, and eggs. And when he could not figure out how to do it because they were too wet, he tossed them in the nearby woods. So the clothes was, I ain't never heard of that. The clothes was too wet to set a fire, so he takes their clothing that they had on and dumps them in the woods. Okay? Hartfield, Joshua, the same little punk, he also ripped out the hard drive of the home surveillance system and later threw it in a creek. But what he don't understand is, well, I don't know about them, but like, if you ripped out our home surveillance system, we still got it on the internet. Like, you still can go to the internet and pull that shit up. Like, so what did he think? He just ripping out the hard drive. You understand what I'm saying? But it's on the internet. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but that's how my husband had it. My husband had it to where if you tear it down off the house, we still can see that shit on the camera. On the internet. Like, we pull up the system and can see it. So anyway. So then meanwhile, McAlpine worked to get the witnesses lined up. Oh my God. Now he's going to work and get witnesses. Now, Alpine worked to get witnesses lined up, honey. He's going to get some people out there to lie and say they seen him do this, that, and the third. He go and try to find people to collaborate their story. He worked to get witnesses lined up. Lord Jesus. Man, now I'm going to be looking at the police department sideways from now on. So now they work and get witnesses. Lord Jesus. He attempted to convince Parker, which was Jenkins' friend, to go along with their story, promising him that he could make sure Parker did not do not one day in prison. Do y'all hear this? So they wanted Parker to turn on his buddy and said that we promise you that you will not spend one day. McAlpine and Middleton also threatened to unalive any of the officers that did not stick to the story. Oh, Lord. Now, here you go. The two oldest ones, right? You got Brett McAlpine and Jeffrey Middleton, the two older guys. 46 is Middleton and 53 is Alcapine. They threatened to unalive the other officers if they didn't stick to the story. Now you got Opdyke, Hartfield, the Dildo Dude, and Edwards being threatened if they change up the story. So now Edwards and Dedman, Edwards, the guy that did the shooting, and Dedman, the Dildo Dude, they filed false felony charges against Jenkins. Jenkins being the man that was shot in the mouth, assaulted, sexually assaulted. They filed charges against him on various drug offenses. That crime would have carried a maximum of 39 years in prison. Do you see what they was trying to do to this man? They did all this to him, violated him in the worst way possible, and then they trying to give him 39 years in prison. 39 years? I don't know a damn drug out there that should land you in prison for no 30 fucking years, and I mean that. What drug can land you in prison for 30 years? That's just absolutely absurd to me. They need to change those laws along with all this other racist bullshit. 39 years in prison over some goddamn drugs? What? That's a whole nother story. Okay? So in late June of the same year, now this was in January. This happened in January, right? The charges did not get dropped until July of 2023. So now here we go, y'all. January, this incident happened. January 24th, right? Now, January 24th, February, March, April, May, June. For 5 fucking months, this dude carried those charges. The drug offense charges. Yes. Not only was he shot in the mouth, not only was he sexually assaulted, not only was he beat while handcuffed, right? Tased while handcuffed, called all type of racial slurs. It took 5 months for them to drop the damn charges. 5 months for him to get these charges taken off of him, these false fake ass charges, right? In late June, Rankin County Sheriff Bailey, let me put his bitch ass back up here right quick. Hold on. Sheriff Bailey, which is the sheriff over these goony ass cops, all but one, all but punk ass Joshua that got his ass entangled in this bullshit, right? Instead of minding his motherfucking business, okay? So Sheriff Bailey in June announced that some of the involved officers had previously resigned, but those that were still on the force during the department internal investigation had been terminated. So it took him 5 months to say, "Oh yeah, we got rid of these bad cops. We got rid of the bad guys, you guys. So we're good now. They're no longer with us. We got rid of them. They got fired or they resigned. But now we're squeaky clean because we got rid of the bad guys. Y'all don't have to worry no more." After 5 long months of thinking that Jenkins and Parker were the bad guys, were criminals, right? For 5 long months, now Sheriff Bailey want to come out and announce, "We're good, you guys, now. Y'all can get off for us. Stop saying all this stuff. We got rid of them. They're gone now, okay? We're good now. We got rid of all the bad. Only the good is left because they either got fired or they quit. They resigned. So now everybody else here is squeaky clean," is what he wanted people to believe. Because he wanted the spotlight off of him. So that's why he made that announcement, okay? That's why he made the announcement. Anyway, the media didn't let up. They were like, "Oh, hell to the no. We don't give a damn." They didn't let up. They kept getting more attention, more coverage, more state coverage, okay? And he didn't like it. He didn't like that the civil rights people started coming in, started doing their investigation, started making a little noise, started rattling it up, right? It says a guy who lived and worked in New York, DC, New Orleans, and Nashville traveled all the way to Mississippi. Now, Sharon, who was this guy that did that?
What you say, Amora?
It said a guy that worked in New York, DC, New Orleans, and Nashville. Oh no, okay, no, it says a lot of people. It says as guys. It says multiple as guys that lived in New York. People from New York, DC, New Orleans, and Nashville traveled to Mississippi to fight this case.
Yeah, the lead person was Malik Shabazz, which was the lawyer. One of the lawyers, he actually could not he couldn't be the head lawyer because he wasn't barred in Mississippi. So we actually found Trent Walker, who is actually a lawyer there in Mississippi. So he actually guided him. And we also had John Barrett. He's an activist. If you go look him up, he's national. He's very national. So that's who they actually talking about, John Barrett. He's a national activist. And he's very, very loud.
So did it take people from New York, DC, New Orleans, and other cities to come in and get these guys to make noise? Like, why wasn't they making noise with the people right there in Mississippi?
Well, they was, but a lot of these big activists knew the case, and like I stated, a lot of them was already involved with my son's case, so a lot of them had already been there. So all these cases kept happening, and that's how they ended up want to come down and be a part of it. And again, John Barrett is a national activist, so once he heard it, it went national. And that's what pushed for a lot of charges as well. So yeah, it's a lot of people came down. You also had like Hawk Newsom. I don't know if you heard of him, but if you go on IG, you can actually see him as well. His name is Hawk Newsom. He's very loud as well, a loud activist. So yeah, it was a lot of people came down from those different states. And yeah, he was from New York.
So let me ask you something, because I'm unfamiliar with this. When they come down, do they stay until something happens, or they just come and go back and forth?
They come and go back and forth. So if it's a trial, they'll come down. If it's a press conference, they'll come down. Is it if it anything that needs to deal with the DOJ, they are coming down. They'll fly out.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure that these people, the cops and the police, the sheriff officers, the lawyers there, whatever, probably didn't like this shit at all, huh?
No, they don't like us because we are kind of like you said, we very we loud with it. So a lot of them be like, oh, you need to get out of our town, or you need to not come here. So
Do they ever try to threaten your life and stuff like that?
they'll try to say stuff like we're gonna arrest you, but the thing is that you need to know your law. So we actually have the ACLU with us, and those are paralegals and lawyers who actually know what you can and can't do. And if you're reading your laws, you'll know, because that's what happened to me. I actually started reading all the laws when it happened to my son. So we know what we can and cannot do. So they cannot do anything to us for talking and representing people.
Okay, I understand. So it seems like it took these people coming down for Bailey, the sheriff, to basically announce that they were either fired or resigned.
Well, once Malik Shabazz took the case, he's a national lawyer as well. Once he hit the ground in Mississippi, that's where it actually went live, because he's a like I said, he was also like a leader of the Black Panthers. So he once he hit, it's over. People don't want to hear Black Panther. They don't want to hear it nowhere. If you say you're a part of the Black Panther or you're a part of the gun club, they're gonna actually try to do what they need to do.
Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to go up to the point
But we also
where
more. The thing is, a lot of people in Mississippi is scared of like CNN and all those national news outlet, Court TV. They're scared of those people. They don't like the attention. So if we get to calling those people, those news outlet, they get kind of scared, and then they want to try to push so it can stay out of their ear. Like Brian Bailey, he wanted to keep it out. He wanted to keep it off of him, but he's as guilty as they are because he did know about them already beforehand.
I believe it. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. So let's go back to what is this? So I just finished reading the cover up, then it goes into the lawsuit. So I'm gonna go back into this now of the lawsuit because it just sounds like once he told them that they had resigned and some of them quit and the rest of them got fired, then it's almost like that, he wanted it off of him, but the lawsuit say he failed to reprimand, monitor, or retrain them. But they said at some point the FBI came in and retrained the whole department.
I don't know if they actually came in and retrained them, because they don't take kind of people coming into their police station because they feel like they are some of the good cops, better officers, because they like to violate other cities. They'll say, for instance, if a police chase started down there, they will actually, instead of calling the other counties and the other cities, they will actually come into these
Going,
towns and chase the people down. Because actually somebody did that a few months before this actually happened, and a mailman got killed by the police officer from down there.
mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
they charged the guy who they was chasing instead of the actual police officer, and he's the one who actually did the killing. So, but the $400 million lawsuit was a threat to them. That's also what actually initiated the investigation, because when they announced that they was going to sue for the 400 million, they was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, we got to try to do something now, because now you're finna take the money out of our county.
Okay. I was just reading. I don't know if I want to read all of this, but it seems like all these different officers has had other run-ins, and
Mm-hmm.
their previous conduct. They've gotten in trouble for breaking into premises without a warrant, holding guns to the head of a person held in captivity, using racial slurs in the commission of the use of force, refusing to identify themselves after committing a road act. So they've already had different things. So the lawsuit goes that I guess you got whoever did this lawsuit did their homework and found out that a lot of these officers had already had things under their belt
Mhm.
that they had been accused of doing previously, and I guess reprimanded, but still a part of the police department. So they all have done a little something here and there that was not in guidelines with the sheriff department rules or regulation.
Yep, exactly.
So
They
just put
did.
that in there. They definitely did their homework to find out that basically these were no angels. Okay. All right.
Well, well, they stay in the news, so it's so small there. Everything is actually in the news. So when something happened in those county, we actually see it. So what they do. When something happened, you'll know exactly who did it and what officer was on the scene. So it wasn't hard to actually do that part because it's public. The news always have it.
But that's if they report it, because I mean, do you? I believe that there's so many situations that have happened that they've never reported on.
You're right, because like I told you, Edwards previously had just killed another black guy by putting his knee on his neck, and in that report, it also stated that the guy had attacked them, but he did not attack them. They actually killed him in front of his mom and grandmother, and he hadn't did anything. They actually called the police out for medical attention, and they killed him. So yeah, they always doing it, and but when they get back to the police station, the paperwork always line up with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it be
Right.
false reports.
Yeah, false reports, and then they all agree to go along with that shit. So the
Yes.
rest of the lawsuit is asking for punitive damages for the different things that they underwent, and they are asking for 400 million in compensatory damages and punitive damages plus interest. Damn, they want plus interest. Lord Jesus, let me get in on this lawsuit. 400 million. I just want 5 million and I'm good. You know what I mean? But no, but they are asking for a lot of things of what they endured. So this lawsuit goes into all the stuff that they endured, how it made them feel emotionally, physically, psychologically, and all of this
Mhm.
at the hands of these 6 officers. So that's probably why it's still pending, because they got to go through all of this. Okay, they're even suing some of the officers for failure to intervene. Okay, but yeah, so that this is what the rest of
And
this lawsuit breaks down.
And also, Amora, the judge. I know with the federal case, they did already awarded them money from each person. Don't know, it takes so long to do these lawsuits, but they did already awarded them some money from those actual officers, and the amount was on the news. I didn't get all of them, but they did award them money from them. But I think most of the money going to come from the city.
Okay, but I'm gonna go over again these goons, the charges that they received, so that we know that they did, and they pled. You guys, they did not have a trial. If anybody is wondering, they didn't have a trial. These jokers pled it, and I'm gonna tell you what they pled it to. Okay, hold on. Let me take this one down. This little pump. Let me remove him. Hold on. Okay. Let me remove him. I'm surprised Bailey didn't get no dang on time. Okay. But this is what's going on, you guys. Okay, let's start with Edwards. Edwards, which is Hunter Edwards, is the one that did the shooting in the mouth. He was sentenced to 25 years on the state side, to run concurrently with 20 years on the federal side. Okay. Now, they have to do the greater amount of years. So in this case, he is going to get 25 years behind bars.
No,
Okay.
no, no.
25 years behind bars. This Edward.
They're gonna do all the other time, but what's gonna happen tomorrow is they're gonna do the federal time first. Once they are eligible or get out, they will then go to the state prison. They will leave the federal prison, go to the state prison to start the state time.
Yeah. Okay, they're gonna do so he's gonna do 20 years federal, and then he's gonna do 5 years state.
45. They gave him 20 plus 25.
Run concurrently mean at the same time. Now, if it was if it was so concurrently mean they run at the same time. If it was what's the other word? Consecutive mean that he would have had to do 20 years federal and then do 25 state. But that's not what this means. Concurrently means
Yeah,
he's gonna
you
do
correct.
20 years federal and then he'll have 5 more years and he'll have to do that on the state side.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, so he gonna do 25 years total, 20 fed and 5, and that's why he pled it like that, punk ass cowards. But so Edward for shooting him in the mouth and the other stuff he did, he's gonna do 25 total, 20 fed and 5 state. Middleton, the one in the middle, that looked like the fake ass Superman, he got 20 state and 17.5 federal. So he's gonna do 17.5 years federal, which means he got to do the whole time. He don't get no day for day. He got to do the whole damn time. 17.5 years, and then he'll do the other 2.5 years state. Okay? That's Superman. Okay, Opendike, the one down at the bottom. Daniel Opendike, the last one. The looking all like a damn psycho. He gets 20 state and 17.5 federal. So he gets the same amount of time as Middleton. He's going to do 17.5 federal, and then he'll do the other 2.5 state when he finishes federal time. Hartfield, which is the younger guy, Joshua Hartfield, the one in the middle here, that didn't even belong to the same damn police station. He just got his ass entangled in this bullshit. He has 15 state and 10 federal. So he'll do 10 years on the federal side. And when he get out, he have 5 to do on the state side, okay? Deadman. Deadman is the dildo dude. He likes sticking dildos in men's asses, okay? He's going to do 25 state. Oh, my God. And 40 federal. So all his time is going to be federal. He ain't gonna have to do state. He ain't getting out for 40 years, okay? 40 years. That man got 40 years because he chose to try to stick a dildo up a man's behind, okay? 40 years because he wanted to take him back to the slavery days, okay? Where they butt broke, or how do you say that word? You know, the slaves. You remember back then, the slaves, how they just violated them on the backside in front of their wives and children and other men trying to scare them, okay? 40 years is what he getting, and that's what he deserved. Oh, Mr. Dildo. I hope somebody bend him over and make him touch his toes while he in there, honey. He about to be somebody's whole bitch, okay? That's Deadman. Now, McAlpine, which is the older guy down here, Brett McAlpine, the one that started all this shit, right? The one that the lady called and said, hey, let me tell you what's going on. 2 doors down from me, okay? He getting 20 years state and 27 federal. So he got to do 27 years total, okay? He ain't going to see state because he's going to do his whole time federal, okay? 27 years. He got the second most highest time spent. That's McAlpine. Now, did I get them all? I think I did get them all. So every last one of them are going to spend between 15 and 40 years total. 15 and 40 years. What a waste of life. What a waste of life. And McAlpine, he's 53 years old. He married, got kids. He was 1 foot out the door from being able to retire with a fat ass police officer check. Now, y'all know, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, police officers that retire, most of them get 100% of their pension. Most of them. Now, I don't know about Mississippi, but the ones that I know, they get 100% of their pension, which means that they get to sit on their ass, eat bonbons, or watch Jerry Springer or whoever, because I think Jerry did, somebody, whoever took over Jerry. They get to do anything they want and still get the same amount of money that they was getting when they was operating as an officer. What type of stupid shit would an officer that's 1 foot out the door will get his ass involved in. Now, instead of him sitting on the couch eating bonbons, he's going to be behind bars for the next 27 years. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. He didn't want to spend his golden years with his 53-year-old ass. He did not want to spend his golden years watching TV, flipping through stations and not watching a damn thing. You know how old people, right? Old people sit there and flip through the stations for 2 hours. Don't watch shit, okay? They say, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. No, I don't want to watch that. They do that shit for 2 hours. He don't even get the opportunity to flip through stations and fall asleep once he decides what he want to watch. But now he's going to be told what time to get up, what time to eat, what time to shower, and what time the lights are going the hell off. His dumb ass. That's what he gets. I'm sure he regrets the day he answered that text message where old bitch ass, nosy ass Karen had the nerve to say that these 2 black guys on her street was involved in illegal activities. All because they were staying with a white woman. Make that make sense. So all their asses are going to prison, okay? All of them going to prison. Now, and that's where they belong. So now, where we at? The federal sentence hearing was last month. It was revealed that he was the officer who turned over the text messages from the Goon Squad. Oh, so Operdike, Daniel Operdike is the one that snitched. Oh, they gonna kick his ass when he get to prison because he snitched, y'all. Operdike, Daniel, the one down at the bottom. That's why he looking shameful, because he is the one that turned over all of it. He said, let me tell you everything. Let me go on and tell you everything. How much he got? He got 20 years total, 17 and a half federal and 2.5 state. And I'm sure the reason why he got that less of time is because he snitched on everybody, honey. He turned over everything. It said Operdike. So he took a plea. Oh, he was a rat, y'all. He was the rat. He said, if I tell you everything, can I get a lesser charge? Daniel Operdike is the rat, okay? They said he admitted to what he did and he turned on all of them. He turned over everything. The encrypted message, the Goon Squad group chat, it said which was encrypted on WhatsApp. So these motherfuckers was communicating on WhatsApp. Do you hear me? Operdike turned over everything. He said, can I get some time off if I tell you everything, honey? He turned over everything. Everything. Yeah, they gonna get him because he's considered the rat, okay? All right, hold on. Let me see. It said the feds themselves admitted in their downward departure motion filed in February courts that these texts play a vital role in the procurement of a guilty plea. So it said that because Daniel cooperated, they're going to get his ass. They're going to get him. They're going to get his ass. They said because Daniel cooperated, those text messages that he turned in played a vital role. It says without the text and Daniel's cooperation, who knows where we would be right now. So because he cooperated, he getting a little, I don't think 20 years is a slap on the hand. However, he getting 20 years and, for cooperating. They said had he not cowered up and took full responsibility of the wrongful actions, pled guilty, none of the other 5 guys would have been caught and told on. He told everything. He told everything. So Daniel is the snitch, and that is why he looked the way he looked. He can't even look in the camera because he know he ratted out everybody. But thank you, Daniel, for ratting out your boys, okay? Daniel done told. Now, let me tell you, now, if I was Daniel, they would have had to shave off another 15. They would have had to give me 5 years total, and that's it if I was giving up everything. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, Daniel did not negotiate that very well, honey. If it was me, I would have been like, ain't give me y'all shit unless you shave off another 15. If you shave off 15, I am going to give you everything you want. But he took 20 years. No way, Jose. How old is Daniel? Daniel can't be that old. Daniel, let me see how old is Daniel. Hold on. Daniel got 20 years. Daniel's still going to be a little young when he get out. Daniel says, shit, 20 years, I'll take it. Because I ain't getting 40. There ain't no way I'm about to give over all the text message and got 20 years. You're going to have to shave off another 15 if you want these texts. That's what I would have told them. Oh, hell no. Listen, they would not know where they would be today without the text messages and Daniel's cooperation. They said the Goon Squad may still be corrupt, abusing people without Daniel's cooperation. And Daniel got 20 years. He crazy as hell. He crazy as hell. You would have had to shave off some more. If I done took down the Goon Squad, if I done took down 5 other racist ass cops, and if I done solved this case for you Negroes, you gonna shave another 15 years off of me, okay? Lashina said he looked like he told. He did. Daniel Opendike is the snake, okay? The rat snake, whatever you want to call it. All right? It says after the sentence hearing, Jenkins and Parker told CNN that they were satisfied with the foremost officer's sentences. Now, see, they better than me. I would have been like, I need them mofos to get at least 10 more years. But the Jenkins and Parker told CNN they was good with what the hell these officers got, okay? Parker said, I sit back and think of everything we went through, the days, the months, moving from state to state, trying to stay safe. I'm glad it came to an end. So apparently these brothers was running from state to state just to stay safe, y'all. Damn. To stay safe. To stay safe, they had to move from state to state. So they just glad it went to an end. Now, Sharon, let me ask you this. Did they go back to Mississippi? Please tell me they did. Did these brothers stay in Mississippi? Are they still in Brandon County?
You talking about Eddie and Michael?
Eddie and Michael.
Yeah, they still stay in the same area. But we did have to move them out because they were receiving death threat. So they ended up moving with the lawyer at the time because he stayed I want to say South Carolina, but yeah, we had to end up moving them because they were receiving death threats. And that was before the trial. So they didn't want anything to actually happen to them before the trial.
Why did they go back to Mississippi?
They never moved from Mississippi. They never moved out. They actually stayed there. But they have been trying to find them somewhere to go because they do want to move out of there. But right now they are still there at the time.
Dang, I wouldn't have went back, man. Hopefully when they get their money, they can go to California or wherever the hell they want to go. You know what I'm saying? But I just believe they should leave out there because now that they didn't charge them on state and federal side, their lives could still be in danger. So, I mean, hopefully they stay safe. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, so let me see. It says the brutal attack caused more than physical harm to these 2 individuals. It's severe. The vital trust with the people. It said the abuse of power will not be tolerated. That's that damn lady that you said you don't like, Attorney General Finch. That's what she said. She probably lying. The one that said that she want lynching to be legal. She should be the first one lynched for saying that bullshit. The former officers pleaded guilty to federal charges of conspiracy against the rights, deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and obstruction of justice according to court records, honey. Edward faced the most serious of the federal charges stemming from the torture, discharge of a firearm during a criminal violation. Justice Department attorney described in court how Middleton, Superman, boasted about the group with the Rankin County Sheriff Department emblem branded with words Goon Squad, pictured a Confederate flag and a noose. So Middleton, the fake ass Superman, he bragged about being a part of the Goon Squad, baby. He said, I'm a part of the Goon Squad, mama daddy. I have arrived. I have arrived. Okay. He was proud to be a part of them. Okay. So NWACP then came in and said, we want a clean house. We want everybody gone, including this shady ass sheriff officer that should have been voted out last month. But somehow he is still in there. And hey, y'all already know how I feel about that. It's up to the people to get him the hell out. All right, so it says, let me see. Okay, so now the only thing that's left, the $400 million lawsuit is still pending. What are your questions? What are your questions? That's the case of the, you want to add anything, Sharon?
What you say, Amor?
Would you like to add anything? I'm reading some of these questions. It's okay, them 20 years gonna seem like 40 looking over his shoulder. The show is Kimberly. She said them 20 years is gonna look like 40 looking over Daniel's shoulder. Daniel the rat, he gonna be known as the rat.
Yeah.
He probably got death threats too. She said they could have gotten the messages with the subpoena. I did that in my investigation. The subpoena recorded are the official records for the court. They have to make sure the messages are not manipulated. But the thing about it, Glenn, they didn't know that they were texting them on WhatsApp. He told. His scary ass told. I wonder what made him tell. Because of them 20 years, they gave him a light sentence. Well, I don't consider that light. Like, what the hell? He took 20 years for some to beat a rat. How many years was he?
Huh?
Do you know how many years Opendike was facing?
He was one of the ones facing either 60 or 80. Because two of them were facing 120. One of them were facing 100. One were facing 60, and I think one were facing 40. And the one that were facing 40 is Joshua, because he was the one who actually came in.
So 40 was the lowest?
Yeah, that was the lowest.
Oh, okay, so listen, he's 28 years old. By the time he get out, he'll be 48. So that's still a little time to live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He looked older than 28. I don't know what the hell is going on, what's in the coffee, but he looked older than 28 to me. But he 28 years old, so when he get out, he'll be less than 50. So I'm sure he said, okay, I'll still have some time to live, so I do 20. But that's you said what now?
Somebody, no, I was saying I Am Glenn was telling her about the Attorney General office have to have the official record from the phone call. The Attorney General don't care less. She's a KKK herself, so she don't care regardless. She was one of the ones who actually got what I told you, Amara, yesterday. She got voted in a day before she got went into office. She said she wanted to be front and center of the lynchings. She down for lynching, so she don't care.
So now, so Daniel Opendike turned everything over to the prosecution. I'm just wondering, was it eating at his soul? Like, what made him tell? It actually says here that he admitted to all his wrongdoing and told on the other 5 officers.
Yeah, Glenn, they did finally get the phone records. That's how they ended up finding out. That's what Amori was reading earlier, their phone records.
He turned over all the texts. And she said, trust me, they subpoenaed all phone records on everybody involved in this crime. They would have found out. They would have, well, yeah, they probably would have, but they on here it says that they would not have known. They don't know where they would be today had he not turned them over. They stand in his cooperation and turning in those text messages. What helped the case. It says, after his father, Melvin Jenkins, said he still knows several victims of police brutality in the county who won't tell their stories out of fear of retaliation. He says, this is Jenkins' daddy. He said, I'm 68 and I've known this stuff has been going on for years and years and nothing has been done about it, he said. So Jenkins' daddy, Michael Jenkins' daddy, is saying that this shit been going on for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, he's been in that area for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it says that he is 100% wrong for being there and not stopping it. This was his duty and he failed at it. He acknowledged that. Okay, who was wrong? Oh, it says in a statement to CNN after the sentencing, an attorney for Macapine, who was the highest ranking officer on the scene, said the former officer struggled with the facts that he got sentenced to more time than individuals who shot and beat these men. Also, now Macapine trying to say he didn't do shit? Is Macapine trying to say he didn't shoot anybody? I mean, he didn't beat anybody? I thought all of them took part in it.
Well, even if he didn't do anything, he was there. If he was there, you guilty as the other ones. You was there.
He said he's shocked that he got more time than a person that actually did the shooting and the beating.
But his position, he was the lead investigator. Your position got you prosecuted because you could have stopped. He could have avoided all of that. He could have stopped. He could have said, no, don't do it. Or when they came in with the report, he knew something was going on.
And he rallied all of them together. And him and Middleton is the one that made the threat that if anybody tell what's going on, that they was going to unalive them. What is he talking about?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it says right here his attorney is shocked that he got more time than the guy that let me see, how much time did the guy that did the shooting got let me look again. The guy that did the shooting got 25 years. Oh, he only got 2 more years. Macapine got 27 years. So he mad he got 2 more years than the guy that did the shooting. 25, 27, it's the same amount of goddamn time. What is he talking about? It's the same time to me. He mad because he got 2 more years longer. He 53. What's 53 and 25? Let's do the damn math. It don't matter. He about to be an old ass. He crying over 2 years. 53 plus 25. He would have been 78 when he got out. Now he gonna be 80. Is he crying over being 78 or 80 when he get out? It's the same.
Well, it's gonna be the same.
He'll be celebrating his 80th birthday, breathing real air. Okay, while he playing, talking about he mad because he got more time than the dude that shot the guy in the mouth. What, he thought he was supposed to got less time?
I guess. I guess.
It said Parker and Jenkins tried for months to tell their story, but often no one believed them. Moving forward, Parker and Jenkins said they will embrace being a catalyst for change in Mississippi and continue to fight to be the voice for other potential victims of the Goon Squad. So they said they tried to tell their story and nobody believed their ass.
Well, we like I say, we actually did believe them, and I think everybody else did. But that how the report came out, it will make you think that they did something because all of them came out with that same old copy and paste report. So you would think that they committed a crime.
It says, okay, so Parker says, I know people are out there and still afraid to say something. I'm putting it out there that nobody who is scared or needs someone to talk to, I'll meet you where I need to meet you at and make sure no one else has to go through this where they are afraid or intimidated by anything. So basically he's saying that he knows that there's people out there that has been affected by the Goon Squad and they're afraid to talk. but he'll meet them wherever to get their story and to help them through it. That's crazy that you got people living in the town and scared to tell what happened to them, so they just sit there and just be quiet.
Yeah, and they do for real.
So yeah, that's what happened, you guys. So we wrapped it up sooner than we thought because I didn't go through that whole what they're asking for, this amount for, that amount for, that amount for, that amount for. In a nutshell, them people that came down from New York, DC, Tennessee, and Louisiana want to get paid too. They're like, shit, ask for 400 million and throw me a couple of mil. Listen, this is crazy. This was a crazy story. I'm glad that they did get time. I wish that they would have, made them go to trial because I believe that they would have received harsher sentences. But like you and Sherelle said, that because of the town that they're in, and then they got to be judged by the members of their peers, they probably would have gotten slapped on a hand, or they probably would have did a mistrial like your son's case and stuff like that. Because do you feel that if your son's case was outside of Mississippi, that it would have still been a mistrial?
It would no, it wouldn't have been a mistrial, but um again, my son case still has a date on it for this year. Um but because that town it happened in, they are the same way as Rankin County. They are the way. Actually, they're a little bit worse than Rankin County. Each other, they went to school with each other, so those people actually know each other. But if it was now, I am it's
Your
actually
phone went out.
too. You
You
hear me,
said what now?
Amora?
It went out just a little bit. What'd you say?
I said we did ask for a change of venue for my son case, to be moved out of Brookhaven, Mississippi, and it's actually going to go to Rankin County. And the only reason why it's going to Rankin County is because they don't know nobody in Rankin County, and they didn't want it to be in Jackson, so we're just getting it in Rankin County because that judge is pretty fair.
Okay. Glenn said there's always a snitch. He knew once the phone records was subpoenaed, they were going to know anyway. So you think that's why his wife or somebody must have said, "You better talk. You better
Yes.
tell what is wrong with you. You better tell. You're gonna get 60 years. You better tell."
But Maura, I'm like you. It's no way I'm gonna give you all the evidence and y'all still give me 20 years. I know you're gonna have to give me 5 years or some paper time. But I'm not gonna take the blame, and I'm giving you all the evidence.
That's what I don't understand right now. You ain't about to give me 20. I'm giving you everything. I mean, 5 years, I would do 5 and I would tell everything from the time we pulled up to who called who. I give you everything. But listen, I write a whole book for you, but you ain't giving me 20.
Right, because I'm thinking, like, if you took 20 years, how many years was I gonna get if I didn't take these 20? How many years was I gonna get? Or did you knock off 5? Did you knock off 7? Did you knock off 10? Because that's still a lot of years for the tail to be the one that turned all the evidence in.
But I'm sure his lawyer probably said, listen, nobody has came forward and said anything yet. Y'all gonna get caught. You're gonna get charged. You speak and I got you. He probably told them some shit like that. You speak. Because the dude, one dude only got 15 years. That was Joshua Hartfield. He got 15. And listen, he got 15 for burning clothes. Listen to this, y'all. Now I ain't saying his involvement wasn't significant, but listen to what he did, and he got 15 years for. He got 15 years for burning the clothes, throwing eggs at them, putting milk, chocolate, and fucking Crisco oil on the men. He got 15 years in prison for that. And just ain't burning clothes. He tried to burn the clothes as well. He got 15 years for that. Now, I'm not gonna say he wasn't involved in the beating or the tasing, because he probably was. But from what they saying that he did, he got 15 years just for that. So he got less years than the dude that snitched. He
Right.
got less years than the dude that snitched. I would have asked for 5 to 7 years, and I tell you everything. And I'm sure each of them had their different lawyers. I'm sure they did. And they lawyers each went to them and said, you need to be the first to lay it on the table, because if you don't, if you give another an opportunity to lay it on the table and say that you did this and the third, your ass is going to get more years. She said, what happened to the person that called with the lie? Oh, I think Sherelle said that they still trying to maybe possibly pursue something on her. They probably didn't tell her name because they knew she would get threats. Did y'all ever find out who that was that called?
We just know it was the neighbor. We don't know if it was a male or female, but they was the neighbor that lived next door, and we still are trying to get charges on that actual person, because again, if any crime was being broken, you would have called the police station, not call somebody personal phone. So they was in on it as well, to me.
Yeah, so they knew what was going on and everything. Yeah, because I'm sure the guys probably said, okay, I'm on my way over there now. We're going to take care of it right now. And you next door, you don't hear no shots fired and stuff. They said did you know that they, because I just read it, did you know that they fired outside and inside the house other than shoot them in the mouth?
Yes, I did know that.
All kind of stuff. What the crap was that for?
I don't know. It was crazy, but yeah, I did know that they did fire some rounds off.
So what type of neighborhood do you live in where the cops are just firing and ain't nobody concerned, ain't nobody, no dogs barking, ain't nobody concerned, they just heard heard a weapon go off?
Yeah, the thing is that this town is, I'm telling you, Amora, this town is awful. People move to that town because they feel like it's safer than Jackson, but at the same time, they don't want us there. They don't want us there. They want your money, but they don't want us there.
So they did all that to try to scare black, because see, by this getting out, it probably did scare other black people, huh?
Yes, they know who these, like I said, they know those people was there, because and then I think the street is actually like a secluded street, so it probably wasn't too many neighbors on that street, probably those two, because they stay off the street, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me tell you something. I don't know where Brandon at, but my husband his family is from Marks, and let me ask him right quick. I want to say
Marks is maybe, I want to say Marks is not that far from Brandon, if I'm not mistaken. They actually, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking Marks is maybe an hour, may not even be an hour, I think.
From Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, let me ask him the name of this place. Hold on one second.
I'm thinking Marks out there by, and I could be wrong, but I thought Marks was out there by Morton and going towards Meridian or something like that. It should be in the phone record. Who called?
It's a town right outside of Marks that start with a B. I can't think of the name of it, but that's where we stopped to go to McDonald's. And remember I told you, I walked in the store and that lady said, you from not around here, are you? She said, how did she say? She said, you not from around here, or is you? That's what she said to me, is you? Hold on, let me ask her where that was. Let me call him, hold on. It started with a B. Hold on one second. I know this joke ain't sleep this damn early. It's only 8:33. All right, let me look and see. Let me look it up and see. Do anybody know? Is it Batesville? Is there a certain thing called Batesville?
Batesville is you have a Bassville and you have a Batesville. Batesville is up by Memphis, and Bassville is going towards the coast, going towards the beach. And you have Belzona as well. So Belzona is way in the country. It's closer to Yazoo.
This is close to March. Let me look right quick, because I think it was Batesville. Was it Batesville? Well, I want to say it started with a now I gotta go ask Jay. Hold on one second.
Let me see right quick.
I want to know what town it is.
That's Quitman County. Um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Is me, Kay. I think she's talking about Batesville because that is close to that's close to Memphis. That's out there by Oxford. That's what I'm thinking too. But I never known Marks being up that way. But it may be up that way. I'm not sure. Yeah, she got to be talking about Batesville, Bassville because I see Marks is close to Oxford.
He said
Horn
it was
Lake.
Batesville, Batesville, and
Yeah,
he gonna tell me something. I know you ain't about to be talking about my state.
yeah,
He's talking about.
that's all about Memphis.
I know you in there talking about my state. Don't be talking about my state. I always tell him shit like y'all backwood ass people or whatever. And he get mad. He's on. I know you ain't in there talking about my state. I said, what was the name of the place? Don't be talking about my state. So anyway, it was Batesville. So I walked into the store. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was lotion, toothpaste. I don't know what the hell it was, but whatever it was, I needed some of it. I can't remember what the hell it was. But anyway, I go into the store and I see it on the shelf, but the lady was in the way and she was reading the label of something. So I said, excuse me, because most of the time when you go to the store and if somebody's standing in front of something that you need and you say, excuse me, most of the time the motherfuckers move. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, excuse me, she didn't move. So I was like, damn, she didn't move. So anyway, I said it again. Excuse me, she didn't move. So I reached across her ass, right? Because at this point, bitch, I just said excuse me, right? So I reached across her, and as I was reaching across her to get what I needed, I'm still saying excuse me. I'm like, excuse me, and I'm reaching and I get whatever off the shelf. This lady gonna say, "You're not from around here, is you?" I said, "No, I'm not," as I proceeded to walk off. So I said, "No, I'm not." I go up to the counter to pay for what it is. She comes up there. Where you ain't from around here. Where you from? She said, I thought so. I thought when I told her, no, I'm not from around here. She said, I thought so. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know what to say. Shit, you thought so? Okay. You right, bitch. I'm not from around here, whatever, right? She said, where you from? Then I'm looking at her, so I tell her where I'm from. She was like, oh, that's what it is. I figured that. So I go to the car and I tell Jay what just happened. And he was like, oh, you were supposed to wait until she moved. I said, you out your motherfucking mind. The day I wait, right? The day I sit there and wait to a motherfucker to finish reading a label while I'm trying to get what it is that I need, and she's sitting up there reading a label in my way. The day I wait, y'all better fucking take me out. You hear me? So I know I probably wouldn't do good in Mississippi because my mouth, my attitude, the way I would react. The fact that she would have stayed there and I would have had to wait, I'm telling y'all, move me now because that's just not what I'm about to do. Okay? Jay talking about you were supposed to wait. You were supposed to wait till she moved. I said, you have lost your mind. I kind of feel sorry for him because Jay told me they weren't even allowed to cross the railroad tracks when he was younger. I can't imagine growing up in a place where if I cross the railroad tracks, I may be unalive. What the
Yeah,
fuck type
yeah,
is that? And my
yeah.
husband younger than
Different
me.
country.
Somebody said, "Amore, stay out of Mississippi." Well, I guess I'm gonna stay out of Mississippi because I'm trying to tell you, whew, Jesus mercy, Lord, girl. But I'm gonna go to Mississippi with y'all, Sharon. The next time y'all go for it, but listen, Lord, let me go and get the bail money saved.
It's not bad as it sounds. We don't really have any problem down there. 'Cause like I said, we getting ready to go. Let me see. When is the next event? Who
Look,
coming up?
Tiny said they used to those scared niggas. She
Yeah,
said
well, yeah,
they
we.
used to those scared niggas.
Yep,
See,
yep,
and
they
you know
are.
what? And I hate that because even when my husband, he gets so polite with them and everything. And I know he probably hate that I'm saying this, but my husband be like, "Yes, yes, sir, yes." He don't really say that. Now his son does. His son lives in Mississippi still to this day, and to hear him say, "Yes, sir," "Yes, sir," "Yes, ma'am," "Yes, sir," I just be wanting to crack him upside the damn head. I be like, "Negro, you free? What you mean, yes, sir? Like what the?"
Yeah, I ain't doing all that. I don't do all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, see that what she said. See, it's me, Casey. It's not as bad as people make it seem. It's just like any other state when I guess when things happen. But I'm glad I no longer live there. Yeah, it's not really bad. It's a really nice state to stay in if you want to retire. But I'm too fast for that state, so I can't stay there. I have to be where there's some action going on, but not that kind of action. So
So
yeah, it's
when you
not.
say it's key, it's me when you say it's not bad as people make it seem, it's just like any other state when there's things can happen. But I'm glad I no longer live there. Why are you glad you no longer live there if it's not a bad state?
It's a slow state. It's nothing. It's behind. It's nothing there. You don't have a lot of jobs. It's just a slow state. It's very slow. That's why it's for retiring. People who want to be out there in the country, who want land, but it's slow. We're behind. They are behind there.
But any state where people will cops can come jump break in your house and do all this shit to you and then try to put charges on you and get away with it is not a good state.
It happened right here where we at, more because we are actually working on. We doing a case right now that we got an event on the 23rd through 25th. For a guy named Jalen Randers. He was killed by the police officer here. Same old thing. They got off because all the officer went in and wrote the same report. And he was killed for nothing. His actual killing was on video. And they still got off.
See, she said it's like Augusta and Grovetown. I didn't know Augusta was like that. Augusta, Georgia? Shit, Augusta was no um it was a I didn't I mean, damn. So country areas are the most damn. I didn't know. I thought Augusta was a more progressive than Mississippi. She said
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
born to stay there. My mouth is big and I'm always on with my friends Smith and Westland. It's not good for me.
Yeah, me
Damn.
too. Me too. I always have my gun. I don't go nowhere without it.
So then, if they would have kicked in my side and back door, I would have had the rights to defend myself. And if I would have shot these motherfuckers, then I would have been charged for murder.
Yeah, but Mississippi do have a self-defense law, but because these are officers, it's a whole different scenario. Because Mississippi do have a self-defense law, but it
But if
wouldn't have
you
been
pop
there.
all six of them, who's going to what story? They're only going to have your side.
Yeah,
You
you're
got to
right
pop
about
all
that.
six of them.
But then you got to deal with the chief, the police. They would have had to deal with Brian Bailey. He would have gone, okay, all my officers got killed. They went in. They had this drug bust. You could just imagine all of them getting killed, and you still got to deal with that big mouth Brian Bailey. It was gonna be the same old way. They
Yeah,
like
but
to
what
run you
drugs
down.
was? Because the drugs, I'm sure, was still in the car at this point. They hadn't brought the drugs out yet. I'm sure.
He knows they've been doing it already, Omari. That man he's act like he unaware, but he been knowing about them. Like they been known for years. This ain't their first year. This ain't their second year. They been known for this.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but oh my God. I mean,
But when we have an event, when I gotta go down there with the gun club, because I'm a part of the gun club here in Houston, and all of them actually goes there. But when we have something, I'm gonna definitely let you know about it because you will definitely
yeah,
you'll enjoy the festivities that they be having and us how we have to go fight and actually see that stuff. But we're never alone without without the news outlet. So we have CNN with us. We have a lot of outlets with us.
So they ain't gonna threaten my life on camera or nothing
Mm,
like that. You saying?
no, they wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare do that. If they were gonna do that, they'd have did that to me by now. Cause I'm telling you, my mouth is big. I sent you over the message. You will see me how I cut up on them actual videos that I sent to your messenger.
Now let me ask you this: does the people in these particular, like Brandon and Marks and all these places, do they appreciate you guys for being there, or do they think that y'all coming to stir some mess?
No, they appreciate it, but the thing is with people is a lot of people be scared. They'll call, like they'll send me messages in my inbox like, my son was killed. Can you speak about it? I don't speak on nothing if you're afraid to speak up for yourself. That's just me. I'm not gonna bring your son case up and you sitting over there at home. Why should I get arrested or talk about your son case if you sitting at home? No, I'm not gonna do that. But oh yeah,
So
I like
they
you.
scared they actually scared to come forward. They want you to do it.
Yeah, some people, not everybody. We do have a lot of people come forward, but some people are scared. They'll say, "I'm scared," or "My job might see me on the news," or something like that. Baby, I don't care nothing about no job. I'm gonna get it or get another one the next day. So yeah, they'll be like, "My job gonna see me, but I do want to come forward and talk about it and all that." But they sometimes they don't because of those reasons.
Yeah. Well, Carmel Cutie said my daddy told me in their time they couldn't even make eye contact with a white woman. I guess that's why they look at them so much now. But I'm gonna tell you this: I don't oppose to interracial relationships. I don't oppose to it at all. I think that you should be able to date and marry whoever you want to date and marry. I don't think that because I think we all God's kids. So when they say stuff like, "Oh, I don't like black date white or Hispanic or Asian or whatever the case may be," I think that's the most ridiculous, stupidest thing ever. You understand what I'm saying? I just think
Right.
it's stupid. I think that if you are willing to learn the culture, and see, the thing about it is our culture in America, African American culture, is the same as white culture in America.
Mm-hmm.
Cultures, like, I think that other cultures, like if you marry a Middle Eastern and stuff like that, I think those are difficult because that's a whole different culture. You understand what I'm saying? They expect you to act, walk, talk, and behave in a different manner. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do it, but you need to know how you supposed to behave and operate before you go and marry somebody outside of your culture. But Black
Mm-hmm.
Americans don't have no culture in America.
I think my only thing is I think when they are dating outside of their race, they need to just know. I say know the family, get to know the family first, because just because the person you're dating is not racist doesn't mean their family members are not. Because um,
Agree with
we
that.
dealing with another case like that as well, where this the black guy was dating a white girl. He went to the house while the daddies were at work. Daddy come home and killed the black boy,
Damn.
and the girl went along with her dad.
Hmm.
So you just really have to know. I say just get to know the family, but I'm not in opposed to it either. Just say get to know them.
Yeah. Well, oh my gosh, she said, I'm not racist, but 2020 and Trump revealed a lot of white people, and that include doctors, lawyers, and police officers. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
She said, Jackson is like Augusta, and Brandon is like Grovetown. Oh, that's what you meant. Jackson is like Augusta, meaning the big city, and Brandon is like Grovetown, the city right outside of Augusta. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. I thought you were
Yep.
saying Augusta was like Mississippi. I was gonna say I didn't think so, but because that's where my husband was stationed there when I was stationed in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you, Sonia, for the super sticker. I appreciate that, girl. She said Oklahoma is a slow state as well. My hometown was just over SM last year for the sheriff, all over social media last year for the sheriff talking about hanging and putting people in a hole. What?
You got Oklahoma, you got Alabama. It's getting worse in Louisiana, but Louisiana is like one of the worst states we actually have trouble with. So they are actually really bad as well.
So Louisiana, she said
Yes.
Louisiana is a slow state too. That's why I'm so glad my sons are here in Austin, Texas. So Louisiana is a slow state. I always said I wanted to visit New Orleans. I didn't know Louisiana was no slow state. Hell, they don't seem slow to me.
Well, it's some of the like the sundown towns. They have sundown towns too, like Monroe, Shreveport. Those are big cities. Those are big areas there. But when you go to these areas like Formerville, Louisiana, like it's not even 3,000 people in these areas. So those smaller towns, yeah, you're gonna definitely want to be careful in those.
I never even heard of those.
That's
I
what I'm
be
saying. A lot of people don't know
thinking
about it.
New Orleans. I be thinking it is New Orleans. But and I want to go to New Orleans.
I
Is it
love New
safe?
Orleans, but New Orleans does the same thing. They have the same old problem as well. We got another case out of New Orleans where police killed one of somebody. I think it was last year, maybe 2 3 years ago. They killed him. He was actually in the car with somebody, and they shot up the car, and they did not charge any other officer, and he wasn't even in trouble. They just decided to shoot the car.
Wow.
Yeah, it's some
Yeah.
areas that's crazier than others.
She said I'm from Shreveport and it has gotten really bad now.
Yes, it is.
Mm. Well, y'all, this story, she said, what makes it so bad is black people don't stick together anymore. Our ancestors were a lot stronger than us. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're a lot stronger, Latanya? Because they allow some stuff to happen that I just don't think that I would ever allow to happen.
Right, me either.
She said, yes, McCurtain County is what was reported in the news, but the name of the town is Idlebell. I'm not sure what
Oh,
that's
is that a
about.
little small town? It was reported in the news by the name of the town. Oh, I don't even know what that town is. See, them small towns, you don't know about them little towns like that. They be like sundown town. You have to get out those towns before dark.
That's a shame to even hear y'all say that, sundown towns.
Yeah, that's how. If you come in from if you're coming from Louisiana down I-10, they got this little town called Jasper, I want to say, or Vaden, that you have to pass through. They tell us not to even stop in that town as well, coming to Houston, Vaden, because they actually had an incident where they actually pulled this man, tied him to two trucks, and they pulled him apart.
They did what?
Tied him to two trucks. They tied his legs to one truck, tied his arms to the other truck, and they both drove off and pulled him apart.
Are you for real?
I'm serious. That's all I'm telling you. You can read it. You can read about it. All you gotta do is
And where was
Google.
this?
And it's coming to Houston. It's in Vaden. It's a little town outside of Houston called Vaden.
Oh my Lord. So, oh my Lord. You about to make me go back to North Carolina. So you saying here in Houston, they got sundown towns?
Outside, they only talk about that little one town. That's the only one I heard about was Vaden. They always make the joke say, "Don't stop in Vaden. You make sure you get your gas before you get there because if you stop there, you probably won't make it out of there." And I know for sure that it is because a couple of months ago, a truck driver had to deliver there, and the guy who unloaded the truck told him, "I'm go ahead and unload you first because you need to get out this town. You don't know what happened in this town." And they unloaded his truck and sent him on his way before dark.
Mm, mm, mm.
So just that one little town is that what I heard about.
I'm about to show y'all some pictures before I sign off right quick. Hold on. Let me show y'all these. This is just the pics of the individuals. Hold on. Look. Okay. We're going to click on. This is Brett. Okay. Brett, right? This is Brett, the The joker that got the phone call and rallied all them up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Brett. All right. This is Joshua. This is the young guy that's only been an officer for 5 years that don't even belong to the same county or live in the same city limits or whatever. And he came on for the ride. That wanted to put chocolate syrup and eggs and Crisco oil and burn clothes and shit. Okay. That one is. Let me come back to him. This is the dildo dude. That's the dildo dude. Okay, that's the one that want to stick dildos up in people's behind. This is Middleton. This is the broke down Superman guy right here, Middleton. Okay, the 46-year-old. This is the one that shot the guy in the mouth. His name is Hunter Edwards or whatever. This is the 31-year-old. Don't he look older than 31, y'all? This man looks older than 31. This is one broke down 31-year-old. And look behind him. That's probably where he lived. Is that where he lived? Because they be living like this. You understand what I'm saying? They literally be living like this. It's probably where he lived, for real. Now let's go back to the guy that I said I didn't know. Who is that? Is that the Opodite guy? Let me see. Let me see if that's the Opodite. That is, yep, that's Opodite. That's the snitch, y'all. This is the snitch. This is the snitch, the one that told it all, the one that said, I got something to tell you. I got something to tell you. She said the dildo dude is a heck of a name. Dildo dude, Middleton, fake Superman, the one that shot him in the mouth. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Brett started it all. Joshua the youngest and the dumbest. The snitch, that's the snitch right there. That's the dildo dude. That's fake ass Superman. And this is the one that shot him in the mouth. She said, I bet all their children's. She said, they don't age well. No, they don't. They look, ooh, honey, they need to get some sleep. You hear me? She said, looks like he was on his way to snitch right now. You heard what she said? Hold on, let me go back to it. She said it looked like he on his way to snitch right there. Look at her. Said it looked like he on his way to snitch.
Dressed all up, yep.
He's like, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. Yeah, she said, I bet all the children act just like them. Sure do. I'm sure they do. She said, I stay about an hour from that town, lady. Which town? The man that drove behind the truck of Texas. Their story really made me mad. So what did they ever do with the guy that they drugged the guys in Texas? I'm sure they in jail. Are they still alive?
They got away. The guy died. He died that day, but they got away with it because it was they said it was let me make sure ain't nobody in here. They said it was KKK affiliated.
So how did they get away?
Because nobody told it. They didn't. They just said he died, but he didn't pull his body apart, just dying. So people knew.
Did you just say they got away with?
Yes, they did.
What are you talking about? They got away with it. How?
Easy, boy. These people get away with anything. They tell, like, they not telling anything. When you go to these county towns, anything happening again, the police and everybody are in on this stuff together. Like, these people are down for this stuff. It ain't this stuff. These KKKs are doctors, lawyers, officers. They are all the same. It ain't nothing. It's nothing changed about who they are.
So wait a minute. So did they at least prove that they actually did it?
No.
Oh, they couldn't even prove that they did it?
See, somebody see Lady E said they tortured that man. They drugged that poor man behind a pickup truck and his body was pulled apart. Yes, they pulled his body apart. Yes.
I know, but did they say? How did they say? Did they lie and say that they didn't know he was behind them or something? Like, I'm just trying to figure
No,
out how did they get.
they tied him to. They tied his arms to one truck and they tied his legs to the other truck.
But what I'm saying is, how did they get away with that?
Easy, because they didn't tell it. They don't tell stuff like it's it's
So
a
how did y'all know that happened?
because he was dead. They had to come get him. Somebody had to come get his body.
I need to read it because I guess you're not understanding my question. I'm trying to figure out if they knew that these guys did that. You said they didn't prove that they did it.
They
So
don't. No, they don't know exactly who did it. They just know it was a white town, and he went into this town, and this incident happened. They don't. It's not like they're gonna tell who actually did it. That's why they got away with it.
oh, so you saying that okay? So they don't know who did it. So the people weren't even tried because they
No,
don't know who did it. Oh,
no,
okay, I got you. I'm thinking that they knew who did it and they tried them and they got off. Is what I said.
no.
What I thought you were saying. Okay, okay. So they never reported who actually did it. Okay, got it.
Right.
Okay, got it. I thought you were saying something different. Okay. So they never even found out who actually did it.
No, they did.
Okay, got it. I got you. All right. Well, y'all, I came on early so we could shut down early. So how long we been on? I don't even know how long we've been on. Ooh, 3 hours. Oh, we didn't do too bad. Well, y'all, thank y'all so much. We don't have to cover this story tomorrow, unless y'all have some lasting questions. But I think we covered everything today. Thank you so much, Sharon, for coming up, and thanks, Sherelle. Make sure you send me her information, and you got my information or whatever. And we will see what happens next. As far as you guys going down there, whatever, I might tag along. Who knows, child? They're gonna run all of us out of Mississippi if I go though. Oh Lord Jesus. They're gonna be like, who the hell is this big mouth ass black woman right here, girl? So anyway, but yeah, keep me informed. Thanks for coming up, sharing, your personal touch on this story. I do appreciate it. Thank y'all for sending me the super chats, super stickers, Candy Girl and Miss Sign. I do appreciate it. And what I was about to say, tomorrow, y'all, I know I bumped the story, but tomorrow I will be talking. I will go ahead and take off the one that I had planned for the third part. It's not going to be a part 3. People want me to do the story where the guy was shot 96 times, but the thing about it is, y'all, he shot first. He shot the officer first, so I don't even know. We'll see. I see about that one. But tomorrow I'm doing the sentencing, the guilty plea, and the sentencing for the parents of Ethan Crumbley, because that is a history type event. This is the first time in American history that they've ever charged parents for their demon seeds. Okay, a lot of us have these badass, horrible ass, mentally unstable, disturbed, imbalanced ass children. Instead of going to get them medicated, counseling, or whatever the hell we need for them, we just let them act the plum fool. So he had been telling anyway, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow, y'all, because this made history. The first time that America has ever turned around and said, Mom, Dad, you're also responsible. Okay. So she said this was an interesting story. More. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great content. More. Keep up the good work. Thank y'all so much. I do appreciate it, y'all. And I thank y'all for sticking by me. You know what I mean? Through everything. I do appreciate it. And thank y'all for showing me love. And I think somebody just sent me some money in my Cash App. Let me see who it was so I can give you the proper. Oh, thank you so much, Lashina. I do appreciate that. Let me read the little note that you said. You said, hold on, let me open it up. I'm trying to get to the note. I want to get to the note. Why I can't get to the note? I can't get to it. Oh, I'm so dumb. She said a great story. Thank you, Lashina. I appreciate that love. I appreciate that, baby. She said, yeah, that happened in my state. Oh, you in Michigan, Lachina?
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna definitely be talking about what happened in your state tomorrow, okay? Because that could have been avoided. When y'all find out the things that could have been avoided and what the parents knew and what they turned their eyes away from, y'all gonna be shocked. So that mass school shooting could have very well been avoided, and we're gonna talk about it. So we're gonna talk about why they ended up with 15 years in prison, because they very well should have gotten it, and they did. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna break down that whole story tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all pull back up if y'all want to hear something that, basically that made history. It made history, whether it was a out. Oh, thank you, Miss Cheryl. Love you too. Appreciate that. Whether it was an outpour or not, it made history, because normally when your child do something, they charge your child and they keep it moving. But no, this time they set a precedence and said, So now they said that what happened is going to start making, well, actually have started making parents check on their kids. Be parents. Check on their kids. Find out what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Looking in their kids' room, checking their kids' bag, talking to the kids' teachers, okay? Finding out where their child at mentally, emotionally. Letting their child just sit up in their room and just sit there and don't do nothing. And they don't ask them what's going on and shit like that. You got to check on your kids. You know what I'm saying? She said, I think it's because they bought the gun for him. They did more than that. You'll find out tomorrow, Lynn. They did more than just purchase the gun, baby. More than just purchase the gun. They purchased the gun, but they did more than that. When you find out how disgusting these parents were, because they were disgusting, you'll find out tomorrow. I'm going to bring that to y'all tomorrow. So tune back in. I do appreciate y'all so much. It wasn't a lot of y'all, but it was still fun. It was still interesting. And I thank Sharon from the bottom of my heart for bringing that information to us. And Miss Sherelle. And I'm going to get both of their information and keep in contact with them. She says, I know about it. It happened here. Lynn Ross, yeah. In Michigan. You in Michigan too? So 2 of y'all in Michigan. You and who else? Lachina. Lynn and Lachina, are y'all close? She said, I was born and raised in Kalamazoo. So y'all might be really close to each other. She said, you have 115 thumbs up. Thank you so much. Kimberly, one live in Detroit and the other one live in Kalamazoo. How far is that away? Detroit and Kalamazoo, how far is that away? She said, hey, neighbor, so it must not be that far. She said, you covered this story very well and more. I love y'all. Have a good night. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Cookie. Thank y'all. I appreciate that from y'all. All right, y'all. I'm about to sign off here. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. I ain't even have to tell y'all today. Y'all got on it. Y'all got on it. That's what I'm talking about. But I appreciate y'all. And for those that didn't catch the whole story, just go back to the beginning and listen to the whole story, okay? All right, y'all. I love y'all. Good night. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Oh, she said about 2 hours away. Okay, that's still a neighbor, 2 hours. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.